The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stutter! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, August 12th, 2024. This program starts now. Football was all weekend. Look out. Football games are back in our lives. And can we determine who's going to win the Super Bowl by the final scores of these preseason games? Absolutely not. But can we tell if somebody might have a chance of being worth a fuck in the NFL from these preseason games? I think so. I hope so, at least, because it's all we really have to talk about at this stage of the game. Obviously, there's some injury news and some things happening around the NFL contractually. We'll be talking to Adam Schefter in about 15 minutes to see what's the word around town in all the NFL. Now, there are some superstars in the making. We'll break down the first-round quarterbacks' performances over the weekend, and I'll tell you what, Chicago might have did it.
Yep.
Just preseason game. Just preseason game. Don't overreact. But the wonder was, can Caleb shit that worked in college work in the NFL? These are grown men. These are my words. These are grown men who are trying to feed their family. These are men that are 29, 30, 31 years old. They've had to take on the fastest and the best around colleges for generations and decades now playing in the NFL. And will Caleb be able to do his shit to adults? Well, I seen a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
It's going to work. And if you're a Bears fan, we have some stats and some graphics whenever we run through it all later. It's like this is, he did a he did a run at,
Oh, yeah.
He did a strike after reading the defense. It's like, what the hell is happening? He might be better in the NFL than he was in college somehow. You know, they didn't win a lot at USC. Won games, but they didn't win, a lot because the defense was a sieve, is what people said. He would have scored 150 points every single week to do that. It's like with this Bears team, with the defense, with the weapons they have, with the vibes, with the energy, with Caleb's leadership. It's like, wait, hold, Swift, hold the phone. Are the Chicago Bears all of a sudden in discussion? That's after one preseason game. We'll do that with every single rookie that played. We'll also have Charania joining us in about 8 minutes or so. He has some news, I guess, to break after an incredible Olympic final from both the men and the women. The men winning in superstar fashion, with Steph Curry just going unconscious at the perfect time against the home team in front of the home crowd, doing what Steph Curry does. And why basketball has evolved so much is because this dude's been doing this at a high level for so damn long. Pull up, how tall do you got to be? 6'9", 6'8"? No, you just got to be able to put the ball in the bucket in the biggest moments of all time, all the time. And that's Steph Curry football, baby. Obviously, this is his third straight three, and at this point, everybody understands that right now we need to feed the ball to one person. And he is currently running around France telling everybody to eat shit. And then they get him the ball. So pause that, go back a little bit. Go back. We don't have to pause it exactly whenever there's two people guarding, but go ahead, play, pause. Okay, so you got LeBron James and Kevin Durant up top wide open. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest shooters of all time. He's right here.
Just left him.
This is Kevin Durant. Everybody said, nah, we ain't doing that. This guy just shot three. He is fading away, falling with two gigantic Frenchmen in his face. And, obviously this is when you know heat check. Yup. We're A-okay. We win a gold medal. He's celebrating. They're all celebrating. Nuit, nuit, he was saying. Night, night to all of France. It was a beautiful thing. We'll talk to Shams about maybe the hands are in the face just completely. Kevin Durant, who's he? Nobody, I guess. Let's follow this guy. Okay.
Two NBA guys.
Buckets. Buckets. To win a gold medal, are you kidding me? What a beautiful moment for this basketball team that answered all the questions we had going into the Olympics. Are they going to be able to buy in? Are they going to be able to put the egos aside? Are these guys going to be able to maybe sit on a bench, ride the pine, and not become a distraction? They did. They have. They're calling themselves the Avengers, and it makes sense because all the superstars showed up. Even Tyrese Halliburton, who's battling a muscle injury.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's banged up.
He ends up putting out the greatest tweet of all time. So this team just can't lose. This team is awesome, and we are incredibly lucky to get to witness them, and we appreciate them. We'll talk to Shams in about 5 minutes or so to see if there's any news coming out of the Olympics, any super teams maybe.
Yeah, feels like it.
Starting to cook. And then maybe some breaking news. We'll also be joined by Kevin O'Connell later this hour at about 36 minutes or so because obviously J.J. McCarthy had a debut and it was good.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson was mic'd up and it was electrifying. Are all the Vikings negative stuff behind them? And now just let's go play some ball. B-Flow is the defense coordinator. He has been a great defense coordinator since he has become a defense coordinator. So we assume that they're going to be good. Can't wait to talk to him. And then in the second hour, we'll have Bill Belichick.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll have Bill
hell.
Belichick. So today should be a great day. We can't thank you enough for joining us. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, Olympics are over, but hell of a run.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, start to finish. You put out a tweet yesterday, and it is a bummer that it's done, and it was an honor to honestly watch them, but I don't know how it gets better than that. Like, I'm now thinking 4 years from now at home in L.A., maybe that'll be fun, but without Steph Curry, without LeBron, who, TBD, I assume he'll be playing L.A. 28, but this team in particular, it almost like revitalized my, at least for me, individually, how much I love Olympic basketball because in the past, even Tokyo in 2021, and maybe because there wasn't that electric environment with fans, and maybe it wasn't as big of a deal because the home country wasn't in the final, but that was the biggest thing for me, like the crowd interaction because it was against France in both games, the women and the men. Like that was so much fun because it was more so like a road game, like silencing people. And there was 1-3, and I don't know if we have the photo of it, but the 3 Steph had in the corner on Wemby. Where
he throws it straight up.
Oh,
they're calling it like best photo of all time or whatever.
Yeah.
Hang it in the Louvre.
Asinine. I mean, that was all time, and they should hang it in the Louvre, wherever the hell it is.
Yeah, that ball goes in, obviously, and the ball's not even in the shot because he had to shoot it straight up. Wemby is next. Everybody is saying that, but for right now, our boys, they're supposed to win. Okay, yeah. That's how sports work. Whenever you're supposed to win, you just win all the time, right? You don't have to give any credit to teams that were supposed to win and go on and win. It's almost harder whenever you're supposed to win to go out and win because the amount of distractions that could show up and maybe derail you could potentially get in the way. Instead, that dude, he puts crown on his head all the time, which I respect. We're putting crown on.
He is a king.
Just so people know, hey, remember, this ain't Prince crown here.
No.
This is the big one. He rallied the team.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one that brought it all together. He's the one that's been coaching since the beginning. And now they're saying, hey, put it in a conversation about the GOAT talk whenever you talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan. Now, they're playing 2 different sports, which leads me to this point. People talk about how the Dream Team would beat shit out of this team. And then they showed some highlights, lowlights, just lights, I guess, of who they were playing in this Olympics, the Dream Team.
Oh, come on.
I mean, just like I thought whenever I saw The Last Dance.
It was different.
Michael Jordan was ahead of the time. But it is 2 different sports.
Yes.
They were playing 2 very different sports. Much more physical back then. Much more. Yeah. Much slower. Much less technical. Much less strategic.
Yeah.
Skill.
Much less. Not their fault.
No.
This is evolution of sport. This is kind of how it goes. So I hate the Jordan-LeBron debate because it's 2 different sports, actually. But like this Avengers team, I think I'd feel pretty comfortable with them playing any basketball team in the history of basketball, especially at the end of the tournament whenever they were all bought in. What a fun run for the entire Olympics. And thank you to the Olympics for being 2 weeks of like shit.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Great, truly.
We really enjoyed it.
All sports, even breaking in the end.
We end up tying China and golds, but we had the most medals.
By a lot.
Tiebreaker goes to us.
How you doing? Keep it moving. We're the greatest in the world. Again, let's never forget it. So shout to us for regaining that title. I don't know if that's been that way for a while or not, but we're the greatest. You all know it. Scoreboard.
That's right.
Scoreboard right
There
here.
you go.
Right here. Don't want to hear it from anybody.
Way more silvers, too.
Way more. Second place. We let other people win. We're also the most hospitable. Nobody ever talks about that.
Nope.
Everybody always says we're rude and stuff. We let other people win more than anybody else.
Yeah.
We might have a bronze coming back at some point, too.
Oh, geez, they're ripping that. They're ripping that right off of Charles's neck. They're ripping that bronze medal. I thought the IOC was good. I thought these were the good ones.
Wow.
I thought they were the good people. Remember, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
They're the good one. And now they're ripping this off. 2 people. Because the girl that is, she thought she won.
Yep,
and then right before she thought she won. And then right before the thing, like, nah, actually, boom, bang, pound it, Charles. And we're like, hell
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Love
sweet.
Jordan Charles. And then here a couple days later, like, Charles, going to have to mail that shit back.
Not a chance.
No, make another one. No, we're going to come and take it out like your Kirkwood, Emmy, for college game day at his house. That's what we're going to do.
Cut it in half.
Don't love the drama. There's always going to be that. But thanks to the Olympics for doing their thing. Now let's get to the football. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. D-Butch,
Yes, sir.
we saw a lot of rookie quarterbacks do a lot of incredible things. Is there any one that sticks out in your mind after watching the weekend? And we'll do a full breakdown on all of them, obviously, here in a matter of moments.
Yeah.
But in your eyes, who was the one?
You mentioned it. Bo made some plays.
Oh, he cooked the post.
Jay McCarthy, he looked good as well. But Caleb Williams, he looked kind of a step ahead. He was as built. It was as was expected. You mentioned it at first, third and 12 against a good defense. Drop back, it's a passing situation. Drop back, read the defense, threw a strike. The no-look screen pass to Smyth. The rollout, like all the things that we saw him doing at collegiate level, you've seen him doing it on week one. Obviously, it's the preseason, but that's what you want to see from a rookie quarterback. He looked like a seasoned vet trying to get a couple series under his belt, get out of there. I mean, he looked great. I can't wait to see him, obviously, when the full season gets here. But Caleb Williams, he had a great start to preseason.
The way they're talking about him, too, like behind the scenes, he called up the boys, was like, hey, trash, need to keep it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's a veteran-led speech normally. So the fact that everybody took it and didn't say, oh, shut up, too, that's a whole other animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kyle Long put out a tweet, former, obviously, Chicago Bear of the Long football family dynasty.
Yep.
Of course.
All-pro, was a baseball player until he decided to be an offensive lineman, then became an All-American and a first-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he made Pro Bowl the first 5 years, I think he was in there.
Athlete.
His tweet was like, hey, do you have any doubt? Look at what the offensive line is doing for this
Yeah.
guy. They know they have a guy. So it's just like the kicks and the punts, which we will talk about. Whenever a return team knows they got a guy that can go, you'll see them give more effort and let's be tight. Let's not get as many penalties, because the fact that there's somebody behind them that they know can go, it's like a booster. It's like, I'm not going to be the reason why it doesn't work. With Caleb, they're all bought in. He's leading meetings.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. All we want to see is him be able to take a snap, be comfortable, give out the calls, and keep it moving. This dude is, like you said, he's like a veteran almost, seemingly out of nowhere. Maybe it's because he made $10 million the last couple of years. He's already been there, done that with the
been in the
business.
limelight, yeah.
Maybe it's because just the way he is. He's doing a TB12 eating now already. Tom didn't start that until 10 years into his career? I mean, it's just like he's buying in completely. This is
It's everything, and obviously from Kyle Long.
that would have been cool. That must be cool.
Sure.
That must be cool.
From his standpoint as an offensive lineman, is great. But even as a defense, your special teams, everybody, when you run out of tunnel, you got a quarterback that gives you a chance. Andrew Luck, we had him as a rookie, but we knew, hey, if he got the ball with 2 minutes left, we're down 4, he's probably going to drive it down and make whatever needs to happen. But to see that from Caleb, the under center stuff, I know Dan was all zeked up about. I forgot which quarterback he came on. He was like, oh, he saw some great. Was it Drake May? Mm-hmm. He had some great
Good handoffs.
What she did.
Let's not get crazy. It was great handoffs.
Really good, and it was against the starters too. So it was against the starters, against the Buffalo Bills starters. Obviously, some good players out there. So I love what I saw from Caleb.
Bears end up beating the Bills 34-6 or something like that.
Yikes.
Interesting conversation. 33-6, sorry. Interesting conversations happening there. It's a preseason game.
Yep.
Of course.
But what we saw from the movement of Caleb, a lot to be excited about. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is a senior NBA insider for The Athletic.
Sons of bitches.
In a minute.
Not everybody. We got to remember that.
Look, I'm pissed.
It ain't right.
It ruined my day.
It's not right.
What happened, guys?
They fired Mark Caboli.
That's not real.
They fired Mark Caboli.
Why?
Sure did.
The Athletic fired Mark Caboli.
Not fair,
Yeah.
but
How many days before NFL season starts?
27 or something.
26, 25, whatever the days is until NFL season starts. Mark Caboli out of a job. Hottest free agent. Looks like I just became a free agent, is what Mark Caboli says there. If anybody's looking for a veteran Steelers NFL writer with 22 years of experience, feel free to reach out to me. DMs are open.
They're probably full at this point.
A lot of people are in the journalism world will probably point out that first sentence there. Well, looks like I just became because the A in there.
Sure. Authentic.
He's speaking.
Yeah,
That's
bingo.
transparency. That's Caboli football.
Voice to talk.
Just know that Caboli's going to be okay. Caboli's going to be A-okay, and we may or may not have already been in contact with Caboli, and I know we're not the only ones.
Sure.
But from The Athletic, still somehow, I don't know, I thought these.
Take your stand, brother.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't know how he hasn't got fired.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
so handsome and good, just like Caboli. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Yeah.
Shams, I don't like it. You don't like it either. I know you don't, but you can't say anything. You got to do what you got to do.
Pat, changes happen, I guess. But I will say there was a change last week. We broke some news on your show last week. You weren't even there for it.
I heard.
You weren't even there for it, Pat.
I heard though. I was at a college football conference, obviously, learning all the ins and outs about college football. When you broke the 5-year, $200+ million Lori marketing deal to Utah, congrats to all parties involved over there.
Right.
Absolute beast, including you. And you didn't get credit for that one on this particular network, but around the world they do.
That's right.
Around the world they knew. Let's dive into some NBA stuff. First of all, coming out of the Olympics, I know we've chatted before about potential super teams brewing underneath, and I think Wendy has come out and said, that'd be very difficult with all the contracts that are happening. Is there any fallout from the Olympics that we should keep an eye out because everybody seemed to be so damn tight, Shams?
I would look at guys like, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Edwards. Those are the younger mold, franchise cornerstone type of players. I guess, everyone knows the Kevin Durant-Anthony Edwards relationship is special. And right now, both guys are locked in long term. So the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, they want to continue their partnership. He's extension eligible this summer. He can get a 2-year extension next summer. So I think that's where the future's at for Kevin Durant. And then we'll see what happens, in Minnesota long term. But I would look at the younger group of guys, the Bam Adebayos, the Jason Tatums, Anthony Edwards. Which guys out of that mold click? I think we'll know more in the coming, weeks and months. It's hard to say right now which guys are going to form together. But it is going to be something to look back on.
Absolutely, because of how tight. It was just so cool to watch it. I became, obviously, edge of seat every game. Loved watching greatness come together and be greater. That is something that can happen, and that's kind of the epitome of team. It's like, hey, we all got to do our role, and if we do our role, we're going to be better than ever. And there's tweets from Devin Booker from a few years back where he said, I'll do it, when somebody put out a tweet that was like, need somebody come in here and smack the wood, play defense for Team USA. And Devin Booker was like, I'll do that. And then he held up his end of the bargain. Playing defense, putting up shots whenever he had a chance, but not being scared to dish it. And then Steve Kerr actually shouted him out at the end of the press conference because nobody asked about him. He was like, hey, that's our unsung MVP in this entire thing. But it feels like that could be said about a lot of the guys. Tatum didn't bitch.
Nope.
Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, those guys were essential to this team. And then when you think about this USA roster, last year in the World Cup, they came in 4th place. And around this time last year in August, this team started with the 3 guys, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. Those guys started having conversations last year, this month in August, talking about them 3 committing and really starting to form a team. Which guy do we want? Do we want this player? Do we want that player? And Grant Hill, managing director, he had to have a lot of the pressure on him to form the team. But I think those 3 guys, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, they also took a leadership level with this roster, with this team. And those 3 guys, it starts at the head of the snake. And it starts with those 3 guys committing early, making clear they want to play for their country. And then you have the Drew Holidays, the Devin Bookers, Anthony Davises, Bam Adebayos. Those guys were locks. And then whoever came after that. But I think you're going to see, I will say on Jason Tatum, in talking to people around USA basketball over the last week, 2 weeks, I think this is going to motivate him. I think he's going to be even more motivated to not only win a championship, but an MVP and really take that next step in his career. I think this will be a motivating factor.
And Tyrese Halliburton as well. He had a lingering injury, obviously, but one of the greatest tweets
He did get an A on the assignment.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. One of the greatest tweets of all time.
True.
26 million views. Okay? That is Tyrese Halliburton swinging a hot bat.
Oh, yeah, big time.
He said, what do you need from me? You need a couple of these? Got it. You need a couple of these on the sideline? You got it.
Great practices.
Great.
Unbelievable.
Making them work. Making them work.
Yeah.
Hey, we need you to act like that little itch from Serbia today.
Yep.
You got it. He's out there doing
Give me
it.
a jersey.
He's just absolutely balling. Love it. That's
See, but that's a guy that's going to be a part of leading the 2028 team, right?
Bingo. They get it.
Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum. This was looked at as the last dance for players like a LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. This next wave, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam Adebayo, Jason Tatum, that's going to, and Anthony Edwards, that's going to be the future of USA basketball.
Connor has the thought that LeBron is going to play in LA in 2028.
Yeah.
Does feel like something. Maybe has the Tarasi rule.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the coach because Steve Kerr said, I'm not doing this shit.
That'd be sick.
I'm not doing
Jackie
it.
Moon.
I think BC saw Kevin Durant in the Boston Bruins hat and got a little excited about the potential of those 3 guys playing again in 2028. I don't see that happening.
I more see just LeBron being like, look, I could come off the couch and get triple doubles if I want to. So if it's the Olympics in LA, I'll retire.
He can play for the next 5 seasons if he wants to.
Bingo.
The question is...
10 probably. It makes no sense. He is a special athlete.
Imagine if he just did the Olympics. Like, I'm not saying he's playing in the NBA. I'm just saying, like, hey, the Olympics
Training for
come
2
around.
years just for the Olympics.
Yeah, he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, because he's going to need something.
Exactly.
There's no way he's just going to be able to stop. Let's move to the NBA now. I know you have some NBA news to share with us, Shams.
We just got this. So I put out the Christmas Day schedule the other day, but opening night of the 2024-2025 season on October 22nd, according to my sources, Knicks at Celtics for ring night. Yes. Shout out Boston Connor. Yes. So Knicks at Celtics is ring night on October 22nd. And then the second game that night, hear this, Timberwolves at Lakers. That is the opening night schedule. Knicks at Celtics, Timberwolves at Lakers. And you think about, for Anthony Edwards, 2 primetime slots in the NBA calendar, major slots in the NBA calendar. You get opening night, and then you get Christmas Day. The Timberwolves obviously on the rise. Victor Wembanyama also going to get a Christmas Day game this year. And then we know about the Sixers. Them getting Paul George. They're also going to be one of the opening games on ESPN, October 23rd, against the Bucks. They're going to host the Bucks on October 23rd. There are a few other notable games. November 12th, Klay Thompson goes back to the Bay, goes back to the
Okay.
So that'll be another notable game. And then the NBA Finals rematches. Mavericks, Celtics in Dallas, January 25th, and then in Boston, February 6th, the day of the trade deadline.
Hey, Shams, we can't wait for it all to get started. Obviously, we're in football time, so it's tough to take that as serious as we should. But whenever Klay goes back to Golden State, it's going to be buzzing.
I need to hear Boston Connor's take on that opening night, though.
Are
the Knicks a real challenger?
No.
Are you scared of the Knicks?
I mean, look, you just said it. Tatum's more motivated than ever, and sure, like, even if he isn't, think about what Joe Mazzulla is going to say to Jason Tatum
he
during.
might be the next coach.
He should be
Of Team USA.
It'll
He'd be the right guy.
Come on, guys, relax. Their exposure, obviously.
All right, that's Miami Heat fan. This is the NBA insider that we love to chit-chat with. Shams, incredibly handsome stuff. You need to let the world see the relaxed hair, Shams.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is how I wake up.
You wake up looking much cooler. Yeah, somehow. I don't know. He's got these, like, this big curl.
It's like Sham Chalamet.
It is. It is.
Yeah, truly.
It is straight out of a magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Charania. Thank you, buddy. All right, so we got some news there.
That's awesome.
Couple big games.
I am pumped.
November 12th, huh? We'll care. Klay Thompson's coming back to Golden State.
You kidding me? I already wrote it down.
Clear the calendar.
I don't care about that one.
D-Butch.
I don't care about that, but I do care about Ant-Man getting some primetime games. Big one. And Wemby did look phenomenal. I'm ready to watch him play some basketball.
You know, I didn't see that. Memphis. Is there any Memphis?
Nah, Memphis and also Bucks. Giannis kind of taking a backseat. I guess the opener on October 23rd, but not Christmas.
I think we all kind of forget Ja.
Yeah, for sure.
Ja is electrifying. Happy birthday, too. Martin Lawrence had one of the greatest tweets also on X in the history to wish him happy birthday, which is why I think everybody kind of forgets about Ja. Can't wait for him to be back. The NBA's doing our thing. They should try to pivot somehow off this Olympic success because it was the most number of people that has ever watched an Olympic finals or something like that. I'll be excited to see what Adam Silver and them do. Good work, everybody, all parties.
Hell yeah.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, friend of the program, Michigan man, Adam Schefter.
Yay!
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Holy shit, Shefty. Have you slept? It's been a long preseason weekend. I know. You look awesome right now. You look like you are in mid-season form, Shefty. How you doing?
You know, Pat, the players aren't the only ones going through drills, getting ready for the season. We just got done a little walk, a little run, a little boxing, a little bit of everything. And so that's the way it goes sometimes, right?
Hey, I respect it. We got a long haul coming up, us and you. Football season, obviously, being here is awesome and exciting. And the green flag is currently waving on the year. Let's talk about some shit that happened over the weekend. Hollywood Brown. Okay, so he's obviously a member of the Chiefs now after being with the Cardinals. Before that, with the Ravens. Explosive, incredible wide receiver. There to beefing up the weapons for Patrick Mahomes. He almost there was something that could have killed him that happened to him this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Am I reading this accurately, Schefter?
Stefania Bell tweeted about it, and she gave a better explanation from a medical standpoint than I could. But basically, it's a serious injury there where it's dislocated. It goes right into a dangerous area. And so they rushed him to the hospital there in Jacksonville, kept him overnight. Team flew back to Kansas City. He was discharged after doctors did what they needed to do on Sunday morning and got back to Kansas City in the afternoon. So that's all encouraging. Yeah, but those are injuries that scare you. And the Chiefs medical staff did a great job here. Got him to the hospital. And it's a similar injury to the one that Tyreek Hill had when he was with the Chiefs. And ironically enough, he sustained it against ours as well. And if I remember correctly, he missed about 1 month. And I think the timeline right now, initially, for Hollywood Brown would be similar, which would mean he would have a chance to be back for opening night against his old team, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, if you remember last year, Travis Kelce hurt his ankle a couple of days before the game, and they opted to hold him out of the game, got him 10 days rest, and I think he came back for week 2. So would I be shocked if something similar happened with Hollywood? No, but they want to see how he's healing before they make any decisions. I think they obviously averted the worst case here. Yeah. Not a comfortable injury, but doctors took care of it in the Jacksonville area hospital. He's back in KC now, and we'll see how he recovers here in the coming weeks.
Shout out to the training staff. Shout out to the training staff and to the doctor for making that happen. Obviously, that's what football is. There's a very large chance that damage and injury can take place. The Guardian caps that we saw during the games. The Colts, I believe, had the most. 5 players wore the Guardian caps, including Jonathan Taylor, starting running back, one of our highest paid guys. That's a big deal. We talked to Dr. Alan Sills last week. He said the players are allowed to do that if they want. We've sent the knit tops to cover up the pillows so it looks as if it is the helmet and the entirety of it. Other teams did it as well. I think Pittsburgh Steelers had a guard that was wearing one. Is this just going to become the new norm, or how many more players do you think we see this from, and what is kind of expectation you think around the league, Schefter, what you're hearing?
You know where I think this is going, Pat? I think we used to see hockey back in the day where players never wore helmets. We used to have people driving cars that never wore seatbelts. And I don't think that this is going to happen overnight, but I think eventually we're going to look back and we're going to see some of the great players in this sport have played this game with little helmets that didn't protect their brains. And you're going to see more and more people gravitating towards this because it's a safer way to play. And I know it takes a little time to get used to seeing the players like that, but already, as you said, 5 Colts were wearing them. We saw sprinkles of other players wearing them throughout the course of the weekend. And to me, it's only a matter of time before this becomes more and more regular, more and more accepted, and players recognize that it's just safer for them to be out there like that. Let me ask you this question, Pat.
Yeah.
Would you ever, if you were still playing, if you were still punting, I know it's not the exact same thing, but you played in a violent way. If you still were punting, would you consider wearing a helmet like that?
So I was talking about this actually earlier today because I appreciate the fact that the Colts are seemingly the smartest team in the entire NFL. Now, there's a lot of old school football players that are going to say, these guys are putting pillows on their heads in games. Okay, that's old school football players, but old school football players think that about everything. They're yelling at clouds for everything. I very much led with my head every time I tackled somebody. 20-something. Head, just leaning, literally torpedoing. Now, if I get called, it's a kicker getting called for personal foul, leading with the helmet. Pretty sick, actually. So, there was would I do it if I knew all the ins and outs, or if I had any head trauma, or how they, probably, especially if it was an option. I think what's going to take place, though, is now we're in a race for these helmet manufacturers to just make bigger, so you don't have to put it on top of the helmet. Yeah. Who can make that helmet just already to begin with? And I think that's what Dr. Alan Sills was kind of alluding to, about how there was 5 helmets that were made in the last year or something that are more safe than any helmet that there's ever been on the market. I forget the exact words, but the helmets are just going to get bigger, I think, where the Guardian cap on top is just going to become a part of the helmet.
Absolutely. It's obviously tough to look at now, and it's different. I remember when the Revolution helmets first came out, Larry Fitzgerald, I believe, was the first big time player to wear it. And it's that looks weird. I will never wear that shit. But at this point, being out of the game and knowing, the after effects and concussions and all those different things, if it is the best option, like you said, helmet manufacturers would obviously make them where they just fit in. This will be ultimately the evolution of the helmets. I think when 18 game seasons come about, Guardian caps are it'd be right behind it.
Yeah, and if you get guys like Jonathan Taylor doing it, obviously other people on the team will feel much more comfortable following suit, So I think that's a whole conversation in and of itself. Our offense is going to have to figure it the fuck out on the Colts, but the Guardian caps, if it keeps them safe, all good. Last question for me before the boys have a couple. Jerry Jones on a microphone before the Los Angeles Rams, Trey Lance versus Stetson Bennett battle, which was
great
game. Great game to watch. I got trapped in that game. It was very fascinating to watch that whole thing. Congrats to Stetson. Boy can ball, can he?
Yes, he can.
He's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He throws 4 picks. Who cares? He'll pick himself up, maybe throw a 5th.
Yep.
But then he's going to score a touchdown and win that thing. Stetson Bennett back for football from a year off. We're happy he's back in football.
Yep.
Congrats to Stetson. McVay mic'd up was sweet. Jerry Jones, before the game, though, talked about the C.D. Lamb situation. Here's what he had to say.
So we wouldn't have him out here. It has really not anything to do with his contract. Dak won't be out here this afternoon. And so the bottom line is, what it is no, there's not that urgency. Now, I understand completely the angst that's happening when you're anxious about and someone says anything about whether you're missed or not. Well, CD, you're missed, okay? But you're not missed out here competing, and it doesn't put any pressure any place on us.
So I think what he was trying to say was the dude wouldn't be fucking playing today anyway, so we're not missing him today. You are missed, though, as a person. Is that what you're hearing? And how does this work out?
Well, first of all, I was very distracted by the fact that Tom Brady was in the background, so I was watching what he was doing there.
Yeah,
as he was
obviously,
interacting with
Michigan man.
Sure,
Yeah.
right in the background. But look, I think Jerry obviously was trying to make CD feel better about what he said last week because people were up in arms over the fact that he said there's no urgency to get this done when the Dallas Cowboys' best wide receiver and most dangerous offensive weapon isn't in camp, and Jerry says there's no urgency to get it done. So he took the opportunity yesterday to get in front of the mic and say he misses CD. He said, again, it's not urgent to get him out there. Basically said the same thing, but the fact that he did admit that they miss him. Now, look, here's the deal. It is hard for
you.
It is
you miss me.
Hard for me and others to imagine that they will not figure out a way to get this deal done for CD Lamb. Like, I would be floored if he's not in camp before the start of the season, and I would be floored if he missed any time. There's no way. It's just not going to happen. I don't know when they're going to get this done, whether it's this week or next week, but at some point, smarter minds are going to prevail. They're going to figure this out. He's going to get into camp. He's not going to miss any time, and CD Lamb, I expect to be there for the regular season opener, however these sides figure it out.
Okay, we can't wait for that. Dak also deal up. McCarthy also deal up. Micah wants more money. There's a lot going on in Dallas. We'll see how the season goes. Stetson beat him yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Stetson Bennett beat him yesterday. We'll see when it gets all finished out. Big news this morning out of Miami. Go ahead, D-Bug.
Yeah, I saw you put a tweet out as well. Jalen Phillips, 9 months after his big injury last year, he's been taken off of the PUP list. What's the timeline for him down there in Miami?
You know, again, I was a little surprised with that because I thought it was going to be into the season. But the fact that they took him off the list this morning and now they're going to bring him back to practice, that tells me that he's got a shot, I guess, here to be ready for the start of the regular season. He tore that Achilles almost 9 months ago. So a tremendous comeback already. We'll see how much of his explosiveness he can recapture and regain. But the fact that they activated him off that list today was a huge win. They need him to get back there. Again, they're waiting on him. They're waiting on Chubb. So they're waiting on a couple of players, but it looks like Jalen Phillips now will be back here in no time at all.
Okay, let's go to the NFC North, which might be Caleb Williams' town. Go ahead, Tosh, man.
Yeah, it could be. Shefty, we heard reports that Stephon Gilmore is visiting with the Vikings today. Any likelihood that that's going to get done sooner than later? And also, are there any other teams that he might be visiting with?
That's the first visit that he's taken. And they certainly need help at the position. And look, I don't think Stephon Gilmore is taking a visit to waste his time. Like, if he's going there, there's a chance that he's going to wind up there. They need him. They could use a player like him. And so we'll see whether or not that gets done today. I don't know that he has any other visits lined up right now. He's been talking with other teams as well. But the Vikings are the first team he visits. So, again, I think we'll give him a chance that he's going to wind up there, certainly.
Simmons is visiting too, right? This is two massive veteran secondary members here visiting people today. Is this by their choice or team's choice?
Well, you know what it is? We're in mid-August, and teams assess their roster, and they decide, okay, well, we can use upgrades. The Vikings have been looking for help at the corner position all along. You know, when I see the Falcons, when the Saints have been in on Justin Simmons for all along, I wonder, okay, do the Falcons really need another safety, or are they essentially sparring with their NFC South rival here, and they could use a player, but it certainly doesn't hurt to raise the price in the Saints a little bit if that's what it takes. So I don't know what that is, but the Falcons have him visiting today, and so we'll see if they can get something figured out with Justin Simmons.
Okay, let's stay in the NFC South. Charlie Smyth, kicker out of Ireland. hits a game winner, only kick of his life in American football out of Gaelic football, hits a 37-yard game winner for the New Orleans Saints. And obviously, we're all incredibly jacked and psyched about this. He trained with a guy named Ty. Whoa, it's an Irish name. Tadgh, but I believe it's pronounced Tig Leader. And he documented his entire story, how he used to be a Gaelic football kicker, and then in August of 2023, decided he wanted to try to kick. So he's been kicking like 3-4 times a week since then, trying to learn the style of kicking American football. The NFL opened up the combine to international kickers for the first time ever. This dude goes in there, showcases himself, and then in his first game, first kick, hits a game winner. Slancha, good on you, lad. And if you keep running that, when he gets back to that sideline, the entire team loses their mind. I mean, the entire, is that the end of the video right there? So that whole crew in the back there, all those legs you see, they all come up and start celebrating with him too. Massive preseason moment that you don't normally see, the emotion and everything. I'm sure you're not on the beat of the Irish kicker, but is this guy got to, I mean, this is a beautiful story, and shout out to the NFL for opening the doors almost seemingly more for more talent. This is good for the game, good for everything, and Charlie, I mean, he nutted that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's good from 60 if it had to, the way he was flying. Slow rotation, perfectly end over end. I mean, that ball's going. That ball is absolutely plastered in the biggest moment. First ever kick in live reps.
Crazy.
Unbelievable, Schefter.
That's pretty cool. Now, you can appreciate what he did more than I can. I could just say this, that the league loves bringing in these international players, and they've put a big emphasis on teams bringing in players like that. And having been around some of that, I think the guys, I don't know if when you were with the Colts or Darius in the NFL, you guys had some international players come in. Those guys are very popular. They're very well received in the locker room. And this guy comes in on Saturday night at Arizona, first kick in a game, and he makes the kick. And again, to your point, you see the emotion on the sideline. It's a huge moment for that guy. It'd be awesome if he could somehow win that job. And hey, listen, these international guys are getting chances now more and more. The league is trying to grow the game. They're encouraging that type of participation. And there's another example of it on Saturday night in the desert.
Hey, slancha, Charlie.
Yeah.
Slancha, Charlie, lad. Way to go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He hit that thing pure. I mean, absolute stroke there in his head. Think about how big that moment is.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
First ever.
He'll never forget it. He'll never forget that the rest of his life, right?
And hopefully it's just a start. Hopefully it's just a start. Just like Aubrey. Aubrey for the Cowboys last year was a soccer player. Go ahead.
It's funny. Last year I was in Cowboys camp, and they were telling me about Aubrey, and they were raving about this guy, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting to watch because you hear coaches rave about players, kickers, whoever it may be all the time. Aubrey was that and more. That guy was unbelievable last year. And looks like he's one of the best kickers in the league right now.
He missed one this weekend from 64 or something, which I wasn't thrilled about because Aubrey doesn't miss. Nope. Like that is.
He pushed it right. He never does that.
Ever.
Right? But he'll make the 64-yarder this year.
Yeah, because he hits a draw. He actually hits a draw. So, like, when he hit that thing, I'm like, okay, it's good. In the home, I think it was the Rams commentary. It was like, it's short. And I'm like, Aubrey murders the ball. These are good stories. If the kicking positions can be the positions that open up the world for the NFL, consider me pumped, brother.
Yeah.
Consider me pumped. Last question here. Speaking of the NFL, and obviously a lot of situations within it, there's a massive one. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Schefter, over the weekend, the reports about Aiyuk were that now it seems likely, or at least they're working on a deal for him to stay in San Francisco. Is that what you're hearing? And then also, the Niners had to cancel joint practices with the Saints this weekend. How bad are they injured if they're already kind of being like, yeah, we don't have enough guys to field two teams?
Well, they're shorthanded at a few different spots, and so they don't want to risk anybody else going into a joints practice, so they canceled that. I understand that. The Aiyuk thing, look, this saga, and it's been a saga, has had more twists and turns over the last few months than any story that I've seen in a long time in the offseason. And this has been at a point where at one point it looked like, okay, he might get traded to Cleveland. And then it looked like, oh boy, he might get traded to New England. And then it looked like he might get traded to Pittsburgh. And now it looks like, you know what? The 49ers sit down, the two sides talk it out. And now, and we'll see where it goes, now it looks like the focus and emphasis is on keeping him in San Francisco and not trading him. But I would say that this has had many twists and turns to it. And until there's final resolution, you don't know. But the 49ers want to keep him. They don't want to trade him. They've never wanted to trade him. They've wanted to get a deal worked out with him. The deal has been elusive. The player was the one who requested the trade. The player was the one who tweeted at Mike Tomlin. The player was the one who went on with Jaden Daniels and talked about going to the command. The 49ers were not interested in doing those sorts of things. They were interested in getting a deal done because they wanted to keep the player. But when the deal became difficult to get done, when he kept demanding a trade, when other options surface like that, everybody's got to do what they have to do to look into it. And so they did. And nothing has worked out so far. And now they're at a point where they'd like to try to figure it out. That would be their goal, to keep him there in San Francisco, which I think really has been a goal all along, despite the fact that in a relationship, there are ups and downs with everything. And so they're trying to see if they can get this deal worked out now. And if they can, obviously, he'll be staying. And he won't be going to Cleveland or New England or Pittsburgh or any of the teams that have had conversations with the 49ers. But that would be the team's preference right now, to keep him and to get that deal worked out. And that's what they're trying to do. And we'll see if they can get it done.
That was the storyline at the very beginning of this entire thing, which we normally feel like is the most accurate, because at the very beginning of most of these stories is when the real shit is, and then there's all bunch of mumbo jumbo that you got to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. And that mumbo jumbo can be used by both parties to weaponize a little bit more leverage or to gain a little bit more favor in your direction for the outcome or whatever it is. So as these reports just started coming and going like so fast and so chaotic, it was like, well, they want a second and a third in 2025. The Patriots are willing to pay $32 million, but he doesn't want to go there. Cleveland wants in on the action, even though the Amari Cooper might get traded in there. No, Pittsburgh is trying to take a hometown discount, even though it's not his hometown. It's like all those things felt like, just to me, mumbo jumbo.
Sure.
That all felt like mumbo jumbo to me, in that the end result was going to be him ending up as a Niner. Did you feel at any moment it was not going to be that way? Did you feel like there was a chance he was going to go elsewhere?
Yeah, yes, but again, we've said all along that this is a very hard deal to get done because any acquiring team would have to satisfy both Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers. And so if a team can't do both, then a deal can't get done. And so you had teams out there that could satisfy one of those conditions, but not both. And with that being the case, I think Brandon Aiyuk felt like, look, he'd like to stay in San Francisco, but he wanted to get paid. They couldn't get the deal done. Okay, let's see what else is out there. Again, he's the one that's advertised these other places. He's the one that's honestly been outspoken in the media. The other day, he was commenting about how there are leaks in the Niners. I'm just telling you, I don't think they're talking that much. I don't think they're talking that much. I really don't.
Who are the leak?
Not publicly.
Yeah. Could be other teams, I guess, trying to leak. It could be the agent. I mean, there's just so many different factors that could be in this.
There were so many people involved, so many other teams that inevitably people know, but it's not like San Francisco's advertising that they want to move on from the guy. They've wanted to keep the guy. They just have not been able to get the deal done. And those other things, they were real, Pat. Like, those other teams were interested. But again, you got to satisfy Aiyuk and the 49ers. There wasn't a team out there, at least there hasn't been to date, that could satisfy both, that could meet the 49ers compensation and meet Aiyuk's price and be a place that he was willing to go. Because once it's a place he doesn't want to go, he doesn't have to accept the deal. So that team's out. That team's out then, right?
Got it. And then Trent Williams is going to get done.
I would assume, I think their focus has been on Aiyuk, and we got a 36-year-old tackle who it doesn't matter that he misses camp. I would think that they'll get that addressed and figured out and get him in. And if he misses camp, he misses some camp, but they want him back. He's so good, they have to have him back. And I would think that they want to get this Aiyuk thing taken care of before they move on to Trent Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider, the man who comes fresh out of a workout to let us know what the hell's going on.
Right. Wow.
And we can't thank him enough. Get in fighting shape, Schefty. The season's right around the corner.
Fine,
It's just
fine. Yeah, there you
24 days away.
24 days away. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yay.
Fresh out of a workout.
Yeah.
Look like Paul Rudd.
Didn't even have a soak yet.
Nope.
Hasn't even had a soak yet.
Still sweating.
He's going to get in his cold tub right now. You know, that's
The goat tub.
maybe the goat tub, Michael Phelps. Everybody's in those things. What do you think? Okay, we got Guardian caps in games. Colts have the most. We're the smartest team in the NFL.
Hey, maybe Trent Williams puts one on, and then all of a sudden it's cool.
I don't. Trent Williams might have came from the generation, before this particular one.
Really?
I would think, because there's some people who try to utilize their helmet as a weapon. And I know in modern football it's not as much, but we'll be joined by a stooge from Ohio in the next hour who literally the heavier the helmet, the better. Why? Because there's more protective? No, because I could utilize it as a weapon. There's always going to be those people in football, like however the tactic's going to be. But if you can save a little bit and it doesn't affect your speed, I could see why guys would want to sign up for it. Jonathan Taylor, he had a brain. He got accepted to Harvard.
Yeah.
Okay, so a businessman. Obviously, we've seen what happened. So I think those super genius people are a little bit more apt to be like, I would like to keep every brain cell.
Sure.
And then as more stats and analytics roll out, it's like, hey, just like one shot to the head for offensive lineman here from a defensive lineman, you don't know. You might hit the right spot. We don't know. And then boom, all of a sudden you can't do this anymore. And then it's like those types of things being presented. Even though I would assume large majority of some of these contacts don't do that, there is a chance that it has happened and will happen. So if you put that thing on there, the look is tough. It looks like a pillow.
No doubt.
Looks like you got a pillow on your head.
It's tough.
It's like football pillow, but that's why I think the helmets will end up just becoming what they become.
Yeah.
That's going to be what
It's larger.
That's what they're going to become spacious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks are going to have one that goes
Massive.
all the way back here.
That'll be so cool.
Jonathan Taylor's, I think, is going to be real big. There's going to come a time where the hole's going to get small, and then that thing is going to act as a
Like a baby.
yeah, it is. It's going to be like giving birth.
Giving birth.
Boom.
We were
Coming right.
talking about this with Tua. When he got banged up, had a couple concussions, like, maybe he gets the helmet. They kind of just, when he hits the ground, it kind of
like an airbag.
It's weird to look at, but like you said, all the medical and everything behind it, you get it with all the violent contacts. And I still remember when those Revolution helmets first came about. I'm like, there's no way these will catch. There's no way players will actually start to wear these. And then every year, more and more. Our university actually damn near made it mandatory that we switched into those helmets. So this is just the evolution of the player safety.
Especially, if they're able to make these helmets gigantic, lighter, and safer. I mean, guys will be like, all right, so it's lighter, it's more comfortable, and I'm safer. I don't care what I look like. Do you see the clothes we wear to these games?
True.
We look like assholes all the time.
Well, not
That is kind of that's like the new fashion.
Well, we had some interesting fashion, too.
Yeah, that was not looking like an asshole. Latu looks sick.
He did look sweet, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything's fashion. I would assume, like, these big-ass helmets will become, like, cool. Because there's, like, the TV stretchy thing, that happened?
Yep.
And there was a photo of Jonathan Taylor that got out there. People were saying, how big that helmet looked, and he do the TV thing. I mean, it did look gigantic, but you could see how Jonathan Taylor would be like, this looks cool.
Yeah.
And he could keep it moving. Our offense needs the Colts offense needs to.
You got to pick it up.
I know it's just preseason, and hey, we're working on stuff. Everybody else seemed to look good. Speaking of, let's look. We're supposed to be catching up with Kevin O'Connell. If we're able to get with him. Ladies and gentlemen, never mind. Joining us now. Middle of training camp, so hey, you do what you got to do. That is not on you. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach for the Minnesota Vikings, former NFL quarterback.
Hell yeah.
Scott can spin it.
Oh, yeah.
Scott can spin it. He can also call a play literally in the dirt, in turf, and make it work. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah. Coach.
How you doing, bub?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Good. Thank you for taking time in the middle of training camp. How do we feel? We still, are we in the middle of it right now? Is it the dog days of training camp? What does that mean for a head coach? What does that mean for you, and how do we feel?
Yeah, I'd like to think we're still in the dog days a little bit. Got through the first preseason game, getting ready to go to Cleveland this week for some joint practices, and before you know it, we'll be, right into that final preseason game week, and we'll be, trimming our roster down and getting ready to roll.
Okay, so trimming the roster down is obviously something that takes place, and the bottom half of the roster is always going to be something that's discussed in buildings a lot more than in the media. We would like to wish all of them that are going to play special teams with this new kickoff good luck. Okay?
Yep.
New kickoff is wild. Let's talk about at the top at some very important positions, obviously. You guys draft quarterback J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. And what I've been told about J.J. McCarthy before he got to Minnesota is like, this dude is beloved by his teammates. This dude is a winner, has been a winner. Everybody literally enjoys being around him. And then we start seeing clips of him at a Minnesota baseball game, and then we see him hanging out with the teammates. And then we got a chance to see him play quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings this weekend, and he had a damn good outing. What are your thoughts on the rookie? What do you think we should expect from him, and how should we view his start against the Raiders?
Yeah, I think I thought JJ played really well. For his first time out, no coaches on the field, no, it's just those 11 guys on defense and the refs out there. There's really not much more you ever want to see than just the guys take the work from the practice field. And especially as you get into different groups on your team, you find out who's prepared, you find out who's ready. And obviously anytime you play a game, preseason or not, in an NFL stadium when the lights come on, you tend to see who guys really are as players. And I just thought, there was a ton of learning moments in the game for JJ, but what I was most proud of is just the way, even after, turns it over early and comes right back and is ripping the ball down the field, standing in the pocket, generating explosives on early downs, a couple big third down conversions, and got the team in the end zone a couple times there, which I thought was just, great example of what playing quarterback in this league is all about. There's going to be some plays that go your way. There's going to be some plays execution-wise that you'd like to have back. What can you do on the next play? What can you do to kind of keep doing your job, propelling the offense forward and give your team a chance to win a football game? Thought he did all those things. I thought he did it in a way that I felt poise and confidence at the same time from him. Thought it was a great first start for him, really getting some game reps under his belt in our offense.
Is everything off the field exactly what they said going into the NFL? Like all the people out of Michigan that talk about him, like everybody loves him. Janitor loves him. Is that accurate? Obviously, you wouldn't bury him publicly, but have you been very excited about the human he is alongside of the football?
Yeah, this is an easy one to answer, and I don't have to bury him publicly. It's all been real, Pat. What you hear about him, and that's one of the things that really drew me to him throughout the draft process. Is this guy is authentically himself every single day. Brings a ton of juice and energy, enthusiasm, and the guy works his tail off. I mean, he is truly in that quarterback room with Josh and Grant, trying to get better, even, outside of, the time with the coaches. You just feel him totally invested in being an NFL quarterback. And he's had success at every level he's ever, really been at. But what I like is just seeing the quiet, lonely moments when he's just putting in those hours, putting in that work that will serve him really, really well down the line. And he's just, he's got the makeup, the guys on our team, young guys in that rookie group with him, veteran players, love being around them. Couldn't say enough about just adding a guy like JJ into our building, especially at the quarterback position.
Okay, and obviously it's a preseason game, so I don't know how much you invest in it emotionally. When Reichard hits that game winner, we're juiced, right? I see Justin Jefferson's mic'd up. He comes out there celebrating. The team's excited. Mm-hmm. After the game, what's the speech? What do you say to him?
Yeah, nobody really knew how I would go about it because we've never won a preseason game since I've been here.
This guy sucks in the preseason.
So I think I was even telling AP right there, that was a hell of a football game. I'm glad to get that first win finally in the preseason. We did play some of our guys early on. That tends to help, especially as you get into some of these preseason games and the depth of your 90-man roster is really tested. But I would just say I was just happy the way we won it. Will coming out there, kicking the game winner, Jaron Hall kind of taking the offense down the field to get us in field goal range. It's really, being kind of a situationally sound football team. It's a testament to your whole roster because those guys are all in the same meetings. They're in the same. They may be watching a lot of the 2 minutes throughout training camp. They may be having to take mental reps and kind of absorb what this would be like if we're trying to go win a game as we're simulating that throughout training camp. So for the defense to get the stop the way they did in the 4-minute situation, and then our offense to get it in field goal range, take that clock all the way down, and Will to go out there and kick the first of hopefully many game-winning kicks in his career.
Hell yeah. Just victory cigars after a preseason game is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
I did give a couple game balls out, so Will got one for the game winner.
Hell yeah, Will! Way to go, Bub. We need to get a new number on Will ASAP, but that'll come. That'll come. There's a hard out coming here in about 5 minutes. D-Bud has a question for you. We can't thank you enough for the time.
Yeah, Kay, I got to ask you. You don't have to deal with this preseason. Fortunately, you locked up Jay Jefferson, reset the market. Probably messed it up for a few other teams out there trying to sign some big-time wide receivers. But what is the importance of those preseason reps with a quarterback and those top pass catchers, especially on the outside with receivers, and how much different is it from training camp and then obviously in the season when things are moving so much faster?
Yeah, I think, D-Butt, when you're putting together a training camp, you try to simulate as many, of those weighty downs, third down, red zone, 2-minute that you can to try to make it feel like the game. We'll have some really important reps in the joint practices this week against Cleveland. And then ultimately, like I said, we did play some of our guys. Justin was, him and Harrison Smyth were two guys that, we held out. But I do know this. I do know the way Justin practices, the way he has built a rapport with both Sam and JJ, getting reps with both those guys. I know Justin's excited about kind of the training camps that they've had, but also, his role. He's really assumed a leadership role on our football team. He's really assumed kind of a guy that's had an unbelievable start to his career on the grass. I think, the next step for him, he was a captain last year for the first time in his football career, believe it or not. And now he's kind of taking that and running with it, setting the standard, what it's like to work. And he's got a lot of other really good players, really good veterans setting that standard every day. I've really loved what we've done training camp-wise. It's been physical. We've really kind of maximized our time, and now we got to put a bow on it and finish this thing up the right way before we get into preparation for the opener against a good Giants team.
So much juice by that. I mean, he got to be a lightning rod, obviously, around everybody. We have like 1 minute here, and Connor wanted to ask, but it kind of is the story of these joint practices. How do you tell them not to fight? Like, how is it not a fight? You've been a player. You understand. How is that not a fight? Like, what is your messaging?
Yeah, I think, we're both trying to simulate game reps, and you can't fight in a game. So why would you be able to fight in a practice? What happens when you do fight in a game? You get kicked out. And so I have kind of a standing rule. If guys fight, and they're first and foremost going to get kicked off the field. Secondly, if they were set to play in the game, trying to fight for a roster spot, they will no longer play in the game. And if they were a guy that we were going to hold out of the game, they're probably going to strap on the pads and go play a little bit in that game that weekend. So that tends to be enough to hold off those guys that may be thinking about it. But at the same time, you don't want to take out the competitive side of it, and it's about who you practice with as well. Kevin Stefanski is a guy I have so much respect for. We kind of feel similar about that, and I know hopefully we have 2 really good days of work, physical work. It's going to be a physical football team we're going to practice against, and both teams are trying to prepare themselves for 17-plus games that are out in front. So any rep, any period, any drill that gets cut short is it's a damn shame, and we can't let it happen.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of preseason. Hopefully we'll get to catch up before the regular season begins, but if not, good luck this year, boss.
Hell yeah.
Always appreciate it, guys. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Caleb looks fucking good. So is JJ, but I'm just saying, he might be a guy. Might be a couple guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin O'Connell, we appreciate you.
Yeah, Coach.
Hey, Caleb does. I like that. Offensive lineman not playing, veteran offensive lineman not playing in the game, gets in a fight all of a sudden. Hey, guess what? First quarter.
Yeah. Have fun.
You.
Not worth it.
This is not worth it.
Yeah, got to remember
It's not
that.
worth it. It's not worth it. I want to let you know, though, let's be in the fucking parking lot.
Write it on the tape.
That might be the way to go about it right there.
Got to figure it out.
If you're at the bottom of the roster, ejected, you're not playing. Top of the roster, guess what? You are playing. All right, maybe that gets it done. Hopefully it does, so we can get some good stuff. Hour 2 on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. And we are in a conference room in a hotel that is the home of the annual league meeting. It is wonderful down here in Florida. Jim Harbaugh was showcasing to me why he doesn't like the hip drop tackle. He was actually wrapping his massive arms around me and then saying, this is what we're trying to get out.
Jim Harbaugh's rules. This is his business card that he gave me.
Jim Harbaugh's rules to live by.
You guys are drafting Caleb Williams #1 overall.
We'll see.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Woo! You did it. When RG3 comes out, you heard him. Yeah. Okay.
I think accuracy, is the #1 trait that NFL quarterbacks need to have.
So Penix.
Ooh.
Okay. I think accuracy is the number one trait.
Okay.
Didn't say no.
Easy, K. Don't give anything up. Hey, you got a lot of leverage right now.
I'm not sure if you know this or not, but you guys are taking wide receiver in the first round, is what I'm being told, and everyone.
Hey, congratulations for doing that.
Good class for
Way to go.
Just the first round?
Whoa. Got 11 picks.
I thought the most impressive thing about it was a lot of people had the sense that this was going to happen, and not one person uttered it. It was a completely respect-driven thing for Aaron to let him do it the way he needed to and wanted to, because he deserved that.
Obviously, I had nothing to do with the offense, but I made sure I had a conversation with Jameis every day, just for myself. It was like self-motivation.
Are you a bobcat or a deer girl?
Boom. Okay. That's good news.
I think I'm like a deer, guys.
1, 2, 3 all locked, do you think?
I don't know that yet.
Ooh.
No. Who could jump up there? Who could pack it?
Caleb Williams, I agree with it, 1.
Okay.
My guess would be Jaden Daniels at 2. And 3, there has been a lot of Drake May conversation. Here's the thing. These things,
Shefty. Sounds like you know more than what you're leading on right now.
Do I think they'll ultimately stay and make the pick at 3? My guess would be yes.
Fucking thank God. Jesus Christ.
If it's going to cause you that much agita, I'm going to definitely see if I can find out some more stuff that will give you more heart palpitations.
Shefty!
You don't need to be a prick. I just want a quarterback so I can root for football again.
Feels like that's probably the case. Conman's got a question for you. Man.
Yeah, Shefty. Excuse me.
Oh, no.
What? I am so. So sorry.
You know what? That's okay. I don't hold it against you.
Can you kick one of those shoes up here?
It says rap sheet. Look at your kids on there too. That's pretty sweet.
We went to Venice and they had an artist draw it on it.
In Italy?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Caboli.
Oh, no.
Stop laughing, Gump.
Oh, it's a tough chair.
It's a good chair.
Ready, 1, 2, 3, jump.
Got an ACL.
Schultz, I'm going to be honest. I thought we were out of here, but then I see you over there. You did not.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, August 12th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football! It is the greatest. Football is back. Thank you to the Olympics, obviously, and Team USA. Tied China in gold medals and had most medals out of anybody. So we are once again very okay in saying we're the greatest on earth at sports. Yep. So that's fun. And the worst country on earth at breakdancing is Australia. Mm-hmm. We know that, not because we have any biases towards any group of people, but because we have eyes. But we do know that the fish on a boat dance is now going to be utilized everywhere. It's already 1 for 1 at Evan Foxy's wedding reception.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Thank you to Ray Gunn for introducing us to the side fish flop. And it's crowd pleaser if you want to bust it out.
Truly.
The Talks Table is here. At Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler.
Yes, sir.
And live from Hammer, Dahn. Tone Diggs. Tone, we have a breaking news in college football, Tone.
Yeah, the first AP top 25 poll is out. No surprises at the top. Georgia is in first with 46 first-place votes, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. I think that's what everyone expected it to be. Shout out to Bama. You know, you lose the greatest football coach, the greatest college football coach of all time, and you're still number 5. That's a respect for Alabama as a program.
And Downs. They lose Downs.
And Downs. And I think it's, and Kalen DeBoer. I think that just says a ton about Kalen DeBoer.
Bond.
Your defending national champions, Michigan, are at number 9. It's after losing, I think it's 18 starters from that football team, which is what they had 13 drafted. I think 18 went to the combine.
Bro, they're ranked 4th in the Big Ten there.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yes.
Yeah, at 9. That's 4th in the Big Ten, obviously, because Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State ranked above them, and then Michigan, 4th in the Big Ten. Wow, Big Ten loaded.
Yeah, that's where let's talk about loaded. So I think Big Ten, if you go down, I think Iowa's the other Big Ten team at 25. So I think they have 5. They have 5 overall teams in the top 25. The SEC, 9. The SEC has 9 teams in the top 25, Pat.
People are talking about multiple teams making the 12-team playoff from each conference. You know, there's going to be 3. There might be. You know, and this is going to get loud. And I know the group of 5 best makes it in, and to be a champion of the conference, you automatically make it in. There's going to be some conversation about the other teams that make it in there.
Yeah.
And it's not about like who on paper, record-wise, it's who is the best team. Because I got a chance to hear, last week at the college football thing. It's like, who do we project to be the best teams at this particular time of the season? And it's like, I think the college football playoff committee, I think you're going to hear a lot more from them throughout the season this year. I think you're going to hear a lot more where, like, they want to entice teams to schedule hard teams and hard games. Like, so if you have the best record, but you didn't really, your schedule is, like, that's a big deal to them because they want college football to remain awesome and competitive. They don't want people taking easy way outs. And with how many conference games there's going to be for some of these schools, there's a chance you play, 4 top 10 teams in the first 5 weeks of the year.
Jeez.
So you might get 3 you might get 2 losses. Who'd you lose to, though? Well, the best teams. Like, it is going to be interesting to see how they balance the amount. Like, if a 4-loss team makes it in, there's going to be so much shit, but there's we have no idea what could possibly happen, especially with the depth and the power of the SEC and of the Big Ten.
And that's like Michigan this year, the Big Ten, their conference schedule is very tough, but non-conference, they play Texas almost right away. So it's that's one of those teams where if they play Texas really tight and lose to them, and then I don't know who lose to Ohio State. I don't know who else they have in the Big Ten this year.
Michigan's got Oregon at home.
Yeah, exactly. So, you lose those 3 games, and then let's say they play a Penn State, too, and lose a tight one there, and they go 9-4, but it's look, their 4 losses could be 4 teams in the top 10.
And then West Virginia in the Big 12.
Exactly, same deal.
We go 10-2, 10-3, whatever it is.
It's the conference championship games.
I mean, it's going to be messy still. Even though there's 12 teams, it's going to be messy, but it's I think we're going to get great football. Great football.
And there's 5 SEC teams in the top 12, 6 in the top 13, to your point there. So that's just insane. The whole top 10 would have been SEC and Big Ten. Florida State jumps in there at number 10, but you got Notre Dame as well. The top-ranked Big 12 team is the newcomers, Utah. The Utah Utes there at the top of the Big 12, and then Florida State is the top of the ACC at 10 there.
Coach Dutch Danger made an appearance there. Obviously, he cut his teeth at Utah.
Yeah, of course.
Really earned his stripes there. Fascinated that Notre Dame can never be the number 1 team in a college football playoff. Ever. Because they can't win a conference championship because they are independent, which has always been an advantage. Always. Being able to schedule whatever, whoever, however, whenever. We are going to have a massive deal anyways because we're the first school to ever have a television deal. So we know this game inside and out, and our fan base is massive because there are Catholics everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Catholics everywhere. Every private school kid wants to end up at Notre Dame. Our fan base is strong. We're going to have it. Always been good to be independent. Now, because they can all win a championship, there's a premium on winning your conference championship because that's what all the commissioners wanted. The commissioners wanted the conference championship to still matter. If you're going to move this to 12 and yada, 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 we want the championship, the titles, to matter the most. So they get the buys, in the entire thing.
Yep.
Notre Dame, the best they can do in a college football playoff is 5 if they have a perfect year.
Yep.
That's going to be some shit.
Find a conference.
I like it. I like it. Get your ass in the conference. I'm tired of them getting up there and getting their ass beat anyway.
Certainly. I think a lot of people feel the way you feel. But the Catholics aren't. Boy, they are going to be
loud.
Wow.
Yeah, they're in God's conference.
Yeah. We got to play these games? All right, I can't wait for it. Thank you, Tone. Thank you, Tony. Hey, how'd gambling go first week of the preseason? What should we be thinking about?
Dogs were 10-6 against the spread, 8-8 straight up. And then it was the under. So 2 years ago, I think the under was 14-2 or 15-1 in week 1. And then last year, the books all adjusted and everything went over. So I think they adjusted it again. It was 12-4 to the under in week 1. So look for week 2 too. They'll adjust and they'll go over.
Okay, so look too for
potentially
over adjustment potentially from these books.
Good to know.
All right, we appreciate you. 10 days. Thank you, buddy. Joining us now live from Manhattan, Ohio, is a man who's a college football national championship holder. His score is number 2 in the country right now, with more talent than ever. He's an Ohio State legend. I don't know if he's ever going to be invited back as an honorary captain like Jim Harbaugh is for their home opener after being suspended and having a 4-year show cause thing by the NCAA. As a coach, he will be back as honorary captain, alumni player for Texas, Michigan, I believe. Is that the first game?
No.
They have 2 home games first, back-to-back?
I believe they play Texas the 3rd week of September or 2nd week of September.
Because we're going Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going Texas A&M.
Yep.
But that Ireland game is week 0.
Yeah, right. Nobody else plays.
There's 3 other games, but they're not any of the power conferences.
They have Fresno at home in week 1.
Okay, Fresno. So that's their home opener. So that is who it is. It's for Fresno. Damn. If that would have been Texas, Michigan.
Oh, man, no.
With game day and everybody there, would have been awesome. But the fact that Michigan is doing this, hysterical, and we are incredibly... Congratulations, Coach. Well, sorry, player.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Player, not coach.
No.
Can't be there as coach. Can certainly be there as ex-player alumni, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. We flipping a coin here? Am I flipping a coin? Who's flipping a coin?
Oh, he better be.
I love flipping a coin because it's not really 50-50, especially if you put it into the universe. Imagine him.
Oh, my God.
He has gloves on in practice right now.
Yep.
Taking darts, doing this, flipping tires, giving press conferences, just setting a precedent of what it's going to be. Welcome back to the NFL, Harbaugh. And we're happy you're going back to college.
Absolutely.
To walk right in. I mean, imagine him walking onto that field for that honorary captain thing. They'll probably be running a video of everything he has done.
For sure.
And then run a quote probably at the end of him saying, whenever they bury me in dirt under wood, I believe is his exact answer he gave.
Yep.
If they say he was a good Michigan man, that's good enough for me. They just run that. That place goes absolutely bonkers.
Nuts.
And the NCAA is just sitting there. They did it again.
Yep.
These sons of bitches did it again. And then Harbaugh goes, okay, thank you. And then off to the Chargers, which look, what?
Uh-oh.
What?
I mean, Herbert's going to be hurt all year.
No, they're going to figure it out. Joining us,
you
ladies
guys
and
say.
gentlemen, I don't know if he's going to be an honorary captain. He should be, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
How about Michigan doing it again? Finding a little, finding a little do-si-do to get Harbaugh on the field. I love it.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? I mean, I'm sure they do not agree with all that has gone on, surrounding the whole program and what everyone on the outside has been saying. So, yeah, why not? I give him credit. Why not? Just bring him back. That place will go absolutely crazy when they see him walk on the field. He's probably going to be wearing cleats, too.
Imagine that Fresno say absolutely. I hope he has gloves on, honestly.
Holding the trophy from last year.
Yeah, over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be
like
so
the title.
cool.
Yeah. That would be
a baby bonnet.
Yeah.
In the front.
Took it from my grandkid. Yeah. Just the way he would explain it all. I hope they do it. How'd you feel about that top 25? 4 Big Ten teams in the top, 8 or whatever it is. That's at the SEC, to Tone's point, what was it? How many, Tone?
It was 9 for the SEC, and I said 5 for the Big Ten. I forgot.
I think you said 5 in the top 13 for the SEC.
5 in the top 12, 6 in the top 13
There
if
it
you
is.
count LSU. But there's actually 6 Big Ten teams. I forgot about USC. They're now a Big Ten team.
Oh, yes. I mean, so it is literally, you just look at it, Big Ten, SEC type situation brewing here before the season starts. Ohio State's number 2, but they're going to have, hey, if you make it now, it's just not to the game. You don't just get to Michigan now.
Yeah.
No offense to any other teams that play against the Ohio State over the last 2 decades, seemingly. Like, it's going to be Ryan Day.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Tough gig. But the good thing is, do you care? Like, if you were the head coach of a program, would you care if your team was number 1? Would you feel slighted if you weren't preseason number 1? It gives your team actually some juice if you're not and you thought you should be, maybe.
I think it probably helps with recruiting, if I had to guess. They could just say, like, hey, we're supposed to be.
But preseason, does anybody care about Like, I never understood. I think going into my sophomore year, I believe we were preseason number 1, and everyone was trying to act like it was a big deal. I'm like, what? Who cares? Like, we lose 1 game, it doesn't matter. Like, who cares what we're rated, what we're ranked now? Like, let's just go undefeated, and we know we'll be number 1.
Yeah, that's championship mindset, AJ. And I'm not sure every human certainly has that. A lot of people like to flex that they made an NFL roster whenever they're the 110th person on the roster. They will turn their bio on their social media into member of Jacksonville Jaguar. And they know damn well they got 0 reps of practice. They got 0 reps in the game. But they are a member. A lot of people like to flex these types of things, but I would assume if your programs are at the top, you don't have a lot of guys like that. Kirby Smart said, hey, we're number one. Huh? That's cool. Bloody Tuesday.
That's right.
We're getting after it, okay? Ryan Day says, hey, we're number 2 in the country, huh? Well, I've almost been fired 2 times because I only have 2 losses in the history here and make it 3, actually, with Michigan. Let's move on. But some of those other, like if West Virginia was in the top 25, I'd be flexing today. I would be.
Sure. I get that. Yeah, it's a big deal for sure. If you're outside the top 25 and all of a sudden you've kind of you built your program up and you're inside the top 10 or top 25. Yeah, I get it, but I don't understand like all the hype and hoopla if you are number 1 or if you're not number 1.
Yeah, well, it must be nice.
Five-star program.
Yeah, you do got a 5-star program. You've been sending the house. You've been doing these recruiting visits for so long up there at Ohio State. You get it figured out. There's somebody about to be joining us in like a minute or 2. Okay, right now, this seemingly is a bit of an advantage,
I'd say,
in the college world, to have a team, it's located in Washington, that has just a couple people strolling around these practices, just strolling around. Pete Carroll, what has he ever won? Well, he's just strolling around, just University of Washington training camp. Oh, yeah, I got fired. Yeah, nothing going on. What do you guys need to know? I know fucking everything, okay? You would say, oh, Pete Carroll's there. That must be a lot. Guess who else is just moseying around up there?
Who's that?
Michael Lombardi.
Oh, you
this
gotta be
guy,
kidding me.
just Italian guy, just walking around a college university, a guy who is addicted to watching film. I assume he's just talking to these guys. Look at this, this is what we got going. You know who else is just roaming around?
Who?
The University of Washington football program's training camp.
Who's that?
Greatest of all time. Coach and general manager. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, what a fucking advantage this has to be for Washington. Bill Belichick. Coach. I love it. Coach, don't you think this kind of bullshit? Do you, Lombo, Pete Carroll, obviously Coach Fish, there is just brains galore up there. Does it feel like we're back in training camp? How involved are you up there, Coach?
Well, it's nice to, just get back and watch some action going on in the field, being around Steve, being around Jed. They do a great job here at this program, and, it's just fun to watch what's going on and sit in on some meetings and watch players work. But good spot out here. Good environment, practicing right on the lake.
Oh.
Temperature is perfect. This is great training camp weather, 70 to 80. The weather's nice, facilities are good, and the players are working hard.
Are we spinning the whistle? Because I've seen the documentaries. I've never been in one of your practices, but I've seen no whistle.
No whistle.
That was the decision. That was the decision that was made. Who made the decision? How close? How involved are you? How out are you? How much do they want you? Because I assume everybody's like, hey, what are your thoughts on this, both coaches and players alike, or are you hands off here?
Yeah, Jed's got the whistle. Yeah, I'm just here to watch, and sometimes they ask me, to look at something or what I think about this or that or whatever. But it's been great. It's great to see these guys, and Jed's got a great staff. Jed does a great job with this program, and look forward to following him, during the year.
I'm betting you over on Washington.
For sure.
I'm betting you over on Washington immediately. I couldn't even imagine. How has it been looking at college defenses and college offenses? Has it been fun? Have you always done this, I guess?
It has.
Yeah?
Yeah, it really has. It's not something I've ever really done before. At this time, for a long time, I've been in training camp worrying about our team and what we need to do and so forth. And now it's, an opportunity to look at college players, college schemes, some of the matchups that are coming up in college football. And, that's exciting too. So, I enjoy all aspects of the game, pro, college, and it's like there's a lot of interesting situations in college football with the realignment and the college game in general. And then, obviously also in the NFL. So, looking forward to following both of them closely this year.
Let's talk about the on-field stuff for college before we talk a little bit about the NFL and training camp, which obviously in preseason you were a part of for 50 years or whatever it was at the highest level. They say the college football is starting to get into NFL football for like the last 10 years, because RPOs, play actions have become RPOs. And I think what Bo Nix did with Denver, there's a lot of Oregon shit in there. Is it very similar from your experience here over the last couple of weeks, breaking down Washington and everything going on to the NFL style of play? Or are there two very separate things that you could point out?
Yeah, I still think there's a pretty big gap. I think, most college teams have a few pro players, but, the other guys are either a long way off or that's not really, the talent isn't at that level, especially the quarterback position. And NFL quarterbacks and college quarterbacks for the most part. I think it's a pretty big gap there. So what you're defending in the passing game is just different. The NFL guys can hit almost everything, every throw. I would say that's not really true of all the college quarterbacks. You have a lot more college quarterback run game, call it Wildcat, some version of that, in addition to the passing game. So the hash marks, obviously are different. And I just think there's a bigger gap between, let's call it seniors and freshmen than there is between, some of the first-year players. You have a couple rookies on your team, but not usually too many. And the veteran players. I think just the overall, talent gap on each team is a little bit smaller in the NFL than it is in college football. It's not a bad thing. It's just a little bit different.
Okay, so let's talk about that talent gap and how some guys are able to make the transition. Obviously, last season, C.J. Stroud had the best rookie quarterback season of all time. We're getting a chance to see some of these rookies now, more specifically first-round quarterbacks, in some action. Caleb Williams, the highlights that we saw and the way he handled himself and his composure and the stories that we're hearing from off the field about how he's the one actually telling the team, like, hey, we need to pick up our shit around the locker room, as opposed to a veteran saying that. Like, seemingly meeting all the criteria to be an NFL quarterback. What are your thoughts on it? Have you got a chance to see it? And how quickly can we judge somebody, you think, from your experience?
Well, I think we're going to have to judge the rookies when they get to the regular season. Preseason is a good time to gain experience and, get a little bit of game exposure, but especially at the quarterback position, the defenses are very basic. There's not a lot of scheme, and when you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're playing, let's call it 3 deep throughout the course of the game, first quarter, to midway through the third quarter to another group to finish the game. You're running the same things the whole game. You're not game planning. You're not showing too much. You're just trying to run the stuff you've been practicing. So, what the quarterbacks see in preseason and what they see in joint practices, and then what they see during the regular season, I think are going to be quite different. It's almost like playing in an all-star game where you just see a handful of coverages.
Okay, so what can you pick up, like whenever you were evaluating your team in these preseason games against very basic looks, what are you judging them on for guys that are maybe bottom half of the roster or even the starters who could potentially get, what should we be watching these games and like taking seriously, if that makes sense?
Right. Well, I think what the coaches are evaluating is how well the players do the things that they've been instructed to do and they practice to do. So their fundamentals, the communication within the limited, watered-down schemes that they're running, and just the live competition that you don't get to see in practice. There's not much live tackling. There's not much live running for the running backs and the receivers after the catch, the live tackling, and even the defeating blocks and blocking in the interior line. Then there's still that finishing the block, getting off the block, making the tackle, not being able to, or offensively, finishing blocks, cleaning the pocket, knocking guys down that you generally refrain from when you're working with your own team. You don't want to get your own players injured on that, but once you're in a competitive situation, I think you can evaluate the player's toughness, competitiveness, and his ability to finish plays better than what you can in practice. So those are all fundamental things. I think that the scheme part of it, again, is very, very watered down.
Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, how did you, throughout your time when you're coaching in New England, how would you put together a plan of how your starters may or may not play throughout the preseason? And did that change throughout your time in the NFL, how you kind of employed your starters?
Yeah, that's a great question, AJ, and that's one that I think it's a pretty long conversation, but a very, very important one. It really just depends on your team. If you're going to put your starting quarterback out there, you probably want to put him out there with your starting offensive line. You want to put him out there with, receivers that he's going to be thrown to. So if your depth is not good at those positions at that particular point in time, maybe you got a couple of guys banged up or whatever, then is it really worth it? And on top of that, you have to spend time preparing for your opponent, right? You don't know what they're going to do. So I don't think you want to play, your starters for 5 plays. That doesn't really do any good. You want to maybe leave them out there for, 20, 25 plays, something like that. Well, that involves preparation time, and that's maybe 2 or 3 days of practice. And I'd say with the shortened, training camp time frame now, that's a little harder to do than what it was in the past. I remember when I was, with the Giants and you had 3.5 weeks of training camp, you could take 3 days to prepare for your first preseason game and play your guys, 20 plays a game or so, and let them get into it. Well, now it's hard to get those days. When you go with joint practices, you can go ahead and put your best players out there and let them compete against the other team, for a couple days and really get a lot of reps and get a lot of quality work. Then, do you really want to come back and play those guys 2 days later, basically on no rest and put them in a big contact situation? Can you get more out of the joint practices? So, and then some of it, especially at the quarterback position, I think depends a little bit on the player. Like Tom always wanted to play in preseason. He always felt like, I want to get more work. I want to get the live, the speed of the game. I want to do that. And so, and then, I've been with other players that are kind of, not that they don't, they really don't want to do that as much. Like, I want to get a lot of work in practice. I really want to do that. The 10 plays in the preseason game doesn't really do anything for me. I don't care about that. And I don't think there's a right or wrong on that, but I do think that, especially with the quarterback position, you would take that into consideration. If the player really wanted to play and felt like he needed it for his timing, then I think you'd probably find a way to do it. But as far as the rookies go, I think for those guys, they should play and they should get a feel for the game, the speed of the pass rush, just, especially I'd say some of the rookie quarterbacks this year who, some of whom are a little undersized, just, the height and the girth of the defensive linemen and all that. I mean, that's good for him to experience in a live game situation, not just practice. But from the team standpoint, you just want to make sure that you can, protect those guys both with their linemen and also with receivers and backs and so forth that know what they're doing out there, so that if there's any type of adjustments that need to be made, you have guys out there that are going to, do the right thing and give the quarterback an opportunity to get rid of the ball.
That was one of the best situations or situational answers I've ever heard in my entire life. And speaking of situations, joint practices, you just mentioned it there briefly. D-Butch got a question for you about
Yeah, Coach, there's been obviously more of an emphasis on that with teams going at it with other teams in joint practices. What was your approach as far as you mentioned it with the quarterbacks and different situational, third down, red area, and then also with the fights? Obviously, there's been some more fights going on big time with Detroit and the Giants, so much so that they got some fines. So what was like you're talking to with the team going into these practices with other organizations?
Well, the way I think, look, it's really important that whoever you're having a joint practice with, you're on the same page with the other staff and the other team. And say for the most part, I've had really very little problem with that. You get on the same page with the other coach, and what happens in the game if you get in a fight, you get ejected, right? So in practice, when we have fights, then we just eject those players, and so. We're out there to practice. We're out there to get better. The people that we're working with are there for the same reason. So, you have to try to get a little bit of the macho part out of it and just, focus on improving as an individual and improving as a team. Sometimes when something happens and there's a, called borderline play, is it a cheap shot? Is it a late hit? Is that kind of thing? Those are the kind of things that set it off. And hopefully, in most of my career, cooler heads have prevailed. Certainly working with coaches like with Sean Payton, or, we had, great practices with the Eagles and last year with Green Bay with Coach LaFleur and with Houston and so forth, that some of the ones we've had in the past, they're really, you just have to get on the same practice tempo with your opponent. And so, the fights and all, if that's what it is, then you're probably better off not practicing with that team. It's just, it's counterproductive. But the great thing about the joint practices is, just as D-Butt said, you run all your stuff defensively. You run your blitzes, you run your combination coverages, you run your disguises, you run all those things that you're not going to run in a preseason game. And you get to see them against another, live competition and vice versa. They run their motions, their pick plays, their gadget plays, things like that, just to get a look at them against, they've run against themselves, but now they get to run them against you. And so you can really work with each other. And I think your team can take some major steps forward, even though it doesn't show up on the field until you get to the real games. But in terms of preparing your team, I thought they were great. We can go out there and rep your starters, if you will, 40 plays, 45 plays. And really give them a hard, practice, both mentally and from a conditioning standpoint, that you probably aren't going to do in a preseason game. And you can do it back to back, and in 2 days you cover a lot of situations. So I thought they're very good in the environment that we have now relative to the length of training camp and the 3 preseason games.
Starters are going to love it, obviously. Oh, I got to go 110%. Okay, great. For how many reps? 40 of them. And then we're going to reset it too, by the way, and we're going to do it again. We got goal line, we got red zone, and third down today. So third down, we got 2 and, yeah.
Good first
2
good,
minute.
But Pat, if you're like AJ's, AJ's a good player. He's a great player. He wants to play well. How's he going to play well? Prepare. How are you going to prepare? You go against another team. Right?
I agree completely. But this is
going on. You don't know who that guy is. So, good players want to compete. Good players want to get better. Good players want to, they want to do things that'll make them play better in the regular season games. They don't want to go out and, get clipped by some free agent that's going to be driving a truck next week. They want to work against other players who, respect the competitiveness of the joint practices.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
And so I think those players, they embrace it. I mean, they enjoy it. And then there's a game within a game. Hey, can we fool them? Can we disguise them? Can we use a coverage or run a play or a blocking scheme or something that's a little bit different? How will that work against these guys? Your team's seen it, 8 times. It doesn't work anymore against them, but can we get that against somebody else? So the players that I've coached have really embraced the joint practices. It's a lot of work, but you've got to do something to get better. You just can't sit around and, kumbaya and it all come together. At some point, you got to go out there and play football.
Okay, so what I wanted to say there.
Send me on this one, AJ.
Hey, amen. No,
spot on, Coach. Spot on.
100% right. But as this has become, it feels like you were ahead of the game with the joint practices. Feels like you were doing them, and then now it's very commonplace that D brought up. I think your players and the way you run things is obviously what everybody's going to do. But what is the history of joint practices? Have they always been around? Because now it feels like there's a shit ton of them happening every single week when it wasn't really always like that. Were they doing this way back? Do you know?
Well, at the Giants, we did them. We came up against New England and practiced against New England. So I was back in the 80s. But again, I think it's also good to see how other teams practice. And sometimes we do this drill a certain way. We do it their way. And you're like, you know what? That's not bad. Maybe we should start doing it that way. Or they have a certain, whether it's a warm-up or an individual drill or the way they organize a 7-on-7 or a 9-on-7 drill or something like that. Or maybe the way they do their red area, a lot of times you get some good ideas out of that. So, it's been around for a while. It really has. We went down in 86. I remember we went down and practiced against the Falcons. You won the Super Bowl. And, I remember walking off the field with Dan Henning. Dan was the head coach down there at that time. And I said, we were kind of talking about each other's team. And Dan, of course, had been at Washington. And, Dan's comment was, hey, Bill, there's nobody in the league that can block your front 7. Don't worry about the running game. You got to be ready for misdirection plays and the passing game. They can't run on that defense. And you know what? When you really step back and think about it, it was Taylor, Banks, Carson, Pepper, Burt, Martin, McGriff. He's right. And sometimes you kind of lose a little bit of perspective of where your issues are or aren't. Because I wouldn't worry about the running game. You guys spend too much time on the running game. You ever be able to defend the pass? Nobody's going to come in here, and try to run the ball 40 times against this front 7. It's ridiculous. And so, and Dan was great. It was a great experience working with the Falcons down there and before the 86 season. But it really helped me see what our team was from the other side of the ball, not from our side. So, things like that. Yeah, it was great.
I love it. I love to hear that. That is awesome. Just seeing your team through somebody else's eyes is probably because I'm around this gold jacket front 7 we have all the time. I forget that other teams are not sleeping for the entire week thinking about that whenever they only get to play us once a week as opposed to us having to play our guys. It's a beautiful thing. I hope the fights slow down. I do hope the fights slow down because it does sound like it is incredibly beneficial for all parties if they end up working out. Colt's got a couple back-to-back here.
Well, Pat, I always told the officials if there was a fight or a taunt, do what you would do in the game. Treat a taunt like a fight. If our guy catches the ball and goes over and spikes the ball in front of their bench, just throw him out of there because it's just going to cause a deterioration of practice. And it's not what we're here for. We're here to improve. And, hey, we're going to make some plays. They're going to make some plays. But it's not about, making fun of each other and taunting and, and trying to cheap shot somebody. It's about, make a play. We'll go back and make another one. Just keep making them. Keep showing us, what you can do to help contribute to the team, earn your spot. I mean, this is your chance for it. So I think if the officials who are officiating the training camp practices would take a little more of that mentality of like, look, we're not going to put up with that stuff. And I told the officials too, that look, if our guys come in a huddle and they don't have their knee pads down and they don't have the proper equipment on or, whatever it was, then just throw them out. And they did. And that really, then I'm saying, well, look, the reason you're not in there is because you don't have any knee pads on. So go get them on. The official threw you out, not me. What do you want me to do? And so things like that, I think the officials can really help get the players used to it. I'd set the 40-second clock at 35 seconds instead of 40. And, because we didn't tackle, but, we got less time. We get back in the huddle. We have, less time to operate and speed it up and get into the game. And hopefully it doesn't feel, as rushed. So I always believed in, harder in practice than in the games. But I do think the officials who officiate those joint practices can really help get the players ready for the regular season by, being as strict on them or maybe even a little bit stricter than they are, during the season. I think that they can help on that.
I appreciate you blaming the refs at your practice. I really do.
I'm not blaming the refs.
No. I'm saying whenever you say he kicked you out, it was White Cap kicked you out. It wasn't me. What do you want me to do? I don't know. Yeah. I love that. That is an awesome thing because obviously players buy in. Your players have, and it's like it's treated like a game because that's how you're evaluating. It sounds like, especially in the practice situations, this is a game. We need to treat it that way, and we get 2 games back to back with these teams, which we wouldn't normally have. How many of the other team's players are you scouting? Have you ever found a guy at one of those joint practices and been like, we need that guy on our team?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd say usually when I've gone into those, I've gone into them, Pat, with the other coach saying, look, we're not here to steal your players. You're not here to steal our players. If we wanted somebody, I would call and say, hey, is this guy available and that type of thing. I wouldn't try to, steal them off the waiver wire or steal them off the practice squad because they do the same thing to us. They're seeing our guys up close. That's not the purpose of it. I think a good working relationship with, if we were in the AFC working with somebody in the NFC, like the Eagles, they're a great team to work with, or somebody like that, like Coach Henning and Coach Parcells. They were close. So the Giants and the Falcons. That was a good working relationship. Same thing when Coach Payton was in New Orleans and I was in New England. We're not really competing directly with each other, really. And so we're not there to steal each other's players. Do you see somebody and say, like, hey, this guy would really help us, Sean? Would you trade him? Yeah, or no, we really need this guy. And then we would kind of play hands off with somebody like that, knowing that they would do the same thing with us.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear about. Because my perspective is like, oh, that's a play. And it's like, well, we're not trying to fuck the people over that we are trying to do business with here in this entire thing. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for opening up about all this. I don't think any of us have thought about that. Connor has a question about a little news story that kind of came and went pretty quickly, but I think is pretty large.
Yeah, Coach, a few weeks ago, Kyle Shanahan kind of talked about how he offered you any role that you wanted on the San Francisco staff. Was there any thought there, like, hey, maybe I do go just be a DC for a season in San Francisco? And also, did any other teams or coaches reach out like, hey, Bill, come on in, you can do anything that you want, even, just go hang out on the side?
Washington sounds like, University of Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate the question. I'm just going to keep all those conversations that I had between any other coaches or teams or whatever, we'll keep those private. I appreciate the conversation. And Kyle's great. I love Kyle. I have a ton of respect for him, his dad, and the way they coach the game, what they've done for the game. I love Kyle and Mike Shanahan. I think they do a tremendous job, but I'll just leave our personal relationship, aside on that one. But, I study them a lot and I've learned a lot from both Kyle and Mike. They're great coaches and their teams are great, very competitive.
How close? That was an awesome answer. That was a press conference, Bill.
Figured that was
awesome. So now on that point, you don't have to tell us who, but was there moments where you had to consider what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do it and everything? Because obviously doing this particular show on Monday was a part of a decision that you had to make. Monday Night Manning, a part of the decision you had to make. And I know you wanted to stay. I think you're doing Inside the NFL with
And with doing an underdog sports.
Underdog Sports doing a show.
Inside the NFL is NFL Films.
No, yeah, Inside the NFL, but then you're also doing your own show, I do believe, as the
we're going
lights.
to do a podcast.
Go
Hang on, lights just
down.
went off here.
Yeah, motion detected lights. Obviously, Washington's doing well.
Yep, that's
They're in
right.
national championship. People forget. People forget that last.
I mean, it's a great way to save money on electricity.
He just gave you an answer. He's given Tom.
Yeah, we're back.
He's given Tom E. Curran that answer that he just gave you.
Yeah, I mean,
30 to 50 times.
there was always a chance that something's going to happen.
But in that whole process of figuring out what the hell you want to do this season, was there a thought of like maybe just defensive coordinator again, or did that road never really get crossed?
Pat, once you made me the offer, I'm in. You said draft, I'm in. You said Mondays and I'm in. And that's it, man. That's the best offer I had, and I love that offer. I mean, I'm top Pat McAfee.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Better being on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay, all right.
Coach Saban did the same thing last year, right?
Yep.
Coach Saban, Mike Lombardi. I mean, I feel part of a very select group, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on with you. I really do.
So
You
whenever,
guys do a great
okay,
job.
good.
Hell yeah, Bill. Hell yeah, Bill.
Okay, Bill.
Hell yeah.
We do wish we would have been able to see you as just a defense coordinator. I mean, that's it. We started thinking about you with that San Francisco 49ers defense, too. And it's like you don't have to deal with any other bullshit other than just drawing up plays for that defense. It would have been crazy to think about. It would have been the old LT days whenever you had your down on any. We didn't just, I mean, we would have been, we were thinking about it.
Writing upside down on the chalkboard, right? Writing upside down in front of the team.
Yeah, would have been old school. We would appreciate it. Okay, so the answer is
this
no.
year I'm just excited to be on with you. I really am, Pat. And AJ and the rest of the crew, like you guys are awesome. It was great at the draft, and I look forward to the season. Look forward to being with you every week.
Well, we're lucky to have you. Are you with Lombardi right now? Is there a Paisan roaming around or no?
Mike's next door. Yeah, Mike's next door.
What do you mean next door? You have an office?
Of course.
Well, he's in the next room. Yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody to come in and mess up our conversation.
That's very nice. Do you have an office out there, though? Does Lombardi have an office out there? Do you have an office? Pete Carroll's got an office?
We're in different.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, there's a couple empty rooms. We pile into them, dump our stuff down. Sure.
You guys got an office.
So, yes. Yeah.
Washington over. I don't know how to do it. We appreciate you, Coach. We don't know if you're ever leaving Washington, but we'll talk to you next Monday from up there, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving. Yeah, no, I'm leaving. I got some other stuff going on this week here, and
you coming?
But no, I appreciate the opportunity to see you guys.
What about West Virginia?
Talk a little preseason. I know sometimes the fans get frustrated with preseason, but honestly, for a coach, it's a great time of year when you can build your fundamentals, see your team come together, just as the chemistry part of it and all that, and watch players get better. This is where they make the most improvement because they have on pads and they can do things at a tempo and a speed that they can't do in the spring. And then honestly, this is again, you guys know it. This is where you build your foundation. This is the pillars of your season, where your fundamentals, your conditioning, your communication. There's not a lot of game planning. It's just being able to execute what we do, and then we'll fit it in to game plans as we go through the year. But this is a great time of year for football players that want to be good. This is when you become good.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, and you obviously were able to do that at a high level for a long time. Can't wait to catch up with you next week with another weekend of the new kickoff in store. I'm excited to hear your take on it all. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Washington.
Should be solid, huh?
6.5 is the number.
What? Okay. I assume that just enough information is floating around those hallways at this. Pete Carroll's there, right? Yeah, Pete Carroll's there. Lomba's there. I'm here. Yeah, Fisher's there. And then Steve Belichick. You guys know him. He's right down there.
Just for the coaching staff alone, like the little tiny things that always come up. Like if you're watching a practice and you're not sure, hey, what our blitz pattern or what we're doing here. Like, hey, Mr. Belichick, you mind taking a look at this quick and just let me know how you might run this? Like just all of those little situations would be so valuable.
Yeah. Why aren't they in West Virginia? Let's get them over there in West Virginia.
Well, yeah. Who do they have over there?
You got to get Steve. You got to get a Belichick over there.
Yeah. I assume we could have hired him. I don't.
What tree is Neil from?
How about Jed Fish, though? Coach in Arizona last year. Now he's in Washington with all those guys.
Yeah, turn him around there.
He had him going at the end of the year.
Take it very good, very quick.
I mean, Mac Jones fell apart when Jed left.
Nobody talks about it.
Nobody does.
Nobody talks about it. Got a quarterback up in Washington. Should be good. Speaking of quarterbacks, even though Belichick basically said, let's not get crazy here. Okay? Very basic defenses we're going against. There's certainly some things that we've seen from the first-round quarterbacks this past weekend that need to be spotlighted and highlighted. Let's go in reverse order, okay? From the lowest our first-round pick to the highest. Let's start with Bo Nix in the Denver Broncos. Now, he didn't get to start. Jared Studham got to start, but when Bo Nix got in, boy, he looked efficient. Now, were there a couple turnovers that could have happened? Certainly. Did Kenny Moore get a pick? For sure. But what we saw was 4 scoring drives and a guy that seemed in complete control and very, very comfortable. Now, there's a couple times he got out on a run. I think this is one of those plays. He looks a lot faster than I could have imagined him being in the NFL, able to pick up the first down. Had a nice couple touchdown throws. Sean Payton obviously loves him. He's like obsessed with him basically since their pre-draft meeting. Bo Nix looked damn good. He was picked number 12 overall. They get a win over the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. And the Bo Show is a real deal. He's not listed as a starter, but it feels like it's inevitable, AJ.
Yeah, and right there, that second line, you see, he led the team on 4 scoring drives in the 5 possessions he played. That's huge. Like, a coach wants you to be able to move the ball down the field, find a way to score, not punt the ball. And I think Bo Nix looked great. That little touchdown pass he had, like, just how quickly he had to make that little baby read, like a little RPO type thing, to like the ball handling, boom, boom. He's got to get a good, think about it. You got to get a good grip on that thing and let it go, because if he grips it late or whatever, that's a pick six, 99-yard touchdown.
That's Oregon right there. That's literally Oregon's offense right there. There was a couple,
not easy.
There was a couple plays that just looked like classic Bo Nix as a duck, like just happening against our Colts team. And he cooked against us. Colts, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Should be.
Defense looked good early.
Yeah, they did. Got a few stops now. Granted, the backups, obviously not a lot of depth here. And on offense, we had like a 3-and-out and, a partial 3-and-out basically with our starters. Not really great news. But Bo Nix, certainly a superstar in the making. It seems like for Sean Payton and the Broncos. Remember, a lot of people saying, this could be his next Drew Brees.
Look out.
This could be his next Drew Brees. Remember what happened? Let's go to the number 11 overall pick. We just talked to Kevin O'Connell. J.J. McCarthy, obviously out of Michigan, goes to the Minnesota Vikings. They have Sam Darnold as well on the roster. They lose Kirk Cousins, but he has a rocket launcher. We saw it at the Rose Bowl up close in person, and he showcased that in the game this weekend, AJ.
Yeah, I'd like to see him under center and like the play action. Sometimes a quarterback under center with these play action fakes, it feels like it's old school football, but I think we're going to get and see a little bit more of this from certain teams around the league. But this dude, we watched this guy in person. Now, they may have not asked him to throw the ball down the field a ton in Michigan at times, but you remember watching him. Every time he did, the dude can absolutely sling it. And he's super athletic. So, I mean, yeah, these are all great things. I guess in the preseason, you don't really know exactly what you have, but you'd much rather your quarterback look good than look terrible.
Yeah, would much rather have our team look good than bad. Just, would much rather have that just for sake of mind and ease. But it's like, I think off the field is what the J.J. McCarthy show is all about. Like, he is like consummate team guy. Will hand the ball off 40 straight times in the middle of a potential Heisman run and not care at all. Able to make the plays. KOC will get people open too. And Justin Jefferson hasn't even been on the field yet.
Yeah, KOC will put him in a good situation. Obviously, you got Sam there. He's a starter now, but at some point, this is going to be JJ's team. He threw a pick, to Jack Jones earlier, I think on the 3rd and 9. So that's the obvious passing down. That's when quarterbacks going to struggle the most at their youngest. But he's an athlete. He'll figure it out. Love his arm and love his mind early on.
Let's go to number 8 overall pick, Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. Now, obviously, this was a surprise to everybody because they paid Kirk Cousins $180 million this offseason with $130 million guaranteed. You would think that Kirk Cousins would be the guaranteed quarterback for the future. Well, they saw Michael Penix. They loved him. They drafted him at 8, and we shall see how it all works out. If Kirk gets hurt, which we hope doesn't happen, obviously this would be a great backup as he's able to continue to be incredibly accurate and seemingly in control of the offense. Now, Belichick just ran through everything. It's going to be basic defense. We're just going to be asking you to run our shit. Penix has been mature, seems like, for the last 15 years of his football career. Good start for Penix as he gets going down there in Atlanta, AJ.
Yeah, good start. Obviously, he's played a lot of football, in his college career. He's been around for a while, so I think that definitely helps early on in the preseason too. And I'm not really worried about quarterbacks that throw, and I'm not that Penix was one of them, but when guys do throw picks, I know that's what he threw 4 picks, correct?
Yes, that's a better.
Which he's not technically a rookie or whatever. So that doesn't worry me as much if a young rookie quarterback is trying to pull the trigger and try to see like, okay, can I fit the ball in these little windows that I could in college? I think there might be a little feeling out process for some of these guys at times throughout the the preseason. But we all know once the regular season starts, everything is so different. They're going to be facing everything that's much different.
Kirk Cousins confirmed starter down there. Let's go to New England.
Yeah.
Drake May, number 3 overall pick. He had a massive outing. 1 series, a bunch of handoffs, and a 3rd and 12 screen that was right on the money.
Perfect.
Rob Mayo, head coach of the New England Patriots, came out and said that was the plan all along, especially with the way the weather was. Drake May looked comfortable. He looked confident. He looks like he could potentially be a guy of the future. But once again, we didn't see anything from Drake May, really, that was understandable. But, yeah, certainly amazing.
In the rain.
Yeah. 3rd and 12 screen, God.
He did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do.
Who made this graphic here?
It's a good one.
I mean, to be honest,
Really
I
good.
don't know if there's ever been a better graphic on this program than that. I mean, he was amazing, and he threw the ball with a lot of zing as well. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, a zing on the ball.
Yeah, bingo.
When Drake May is playing amazing.
I mean, he was the only quarterback. He was the only rookie quarterback to play in the rain and throw the shit out of the ball. So you tell me, it's easy to look good in a dome in nice weather. He's battle tested now in the rain. So suck it, rest of the NFL.
Suck it.
Yeah, you guys don't know what your rookie quarterbacks are in the rain. We do.
3rd and 12. Screen God.
Yeah.
On the graph.
And is that inaccurate? No. First down, bitch. Let's keep
Good
the chains
ball.
moving.
Good ball.
It is a good ball. Put it right there on him.
Should have
Put it
seen the
right
check down on the next 3rd and 11. Holy hell. In the pocket.
All right, let's go to number 2 overall pick out of LSU, Jaden Daniels for the Washington Commanders. Now, obviously, the chitter-chatter around the Commanders has been small, even though some people think they're going to be a lot better than people are calling for, mostly because they think Jaden Daniels is a game changer. On the feet, he's fast. He has so many highlights from college, both at Arizona State and at LSU, where he's outrunning the entire party. Then he was able to showcase the arm a little bit, drop one in from the clouds on old Cuz. Daniels dealing in debut is the headline. I don't know if we've seen anything from anybody, but I think Daniels has certainly looked like he could be the guy leading the Commanders to a little bit of prominence, a little bit of relevancy, and they've certainly been a nightmare over the last, decade and a half or so?
Yeah, it's been tough. It has to feel good to hit that 42-yard bomb. Like, even if you only get a series, you want to get a couple completions. Like, to complete one down the field has to feel good, because if you don't, people are just a matter of time before they try to say you just dink and dunk and you're a game manager, which nobody wants that title.
I'm okay if Anthony Richardson, quarterback for the Colts, is called a game manager going forward. That would mean we hit all the ones we're supposed to. We move matriculate down the field. We are good. I want game managers all over the place. Jaden Daniels is a potential star, but I think everything we're hearing is he's going to be the guy for the Commanders that are going to lead them to the promised land.
Yeah, polished. Coming out of college, looking at his tape, he read coverages. He's accurate with the football. We know he can be the most dynamic athlete with the ball in his hand any given Sunday. So, I mean, as advertised, little glimpse of him, but I'm excited to see these guys in the regular season.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 overall pick, the man who was the clear-cut number 1 overall pick, seemingly for the last 2 years. Everybody said, this guy's special. This guy's different. Everything about him screams NFL franchise quarterback. Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears debut was phenomenal. Now, how much can we judge? A lot of people are talking, that's 3rd down right there. Goes through his progression, stays comfortable in the pocket, delivers an absolute strike. Then Caleb, he can run so fast. Will he not want to run away? Will he be too quick to pull the trigger and get out of there? How about whole place collapse and no look? Drop down, check down, 1st down. Game manager, game changer. Caleb Williams, can he do Caleb Williams shit in the NFL? On the run, to the sideline, dart, strike, 1st down. I mean, just like everything you wondered about Caleb in his first game, he proved he'll be able to accomplish. Got out of some heat there, got some pressure, got down, stayed safe. It's just like this is potentially the answer for the Bears. AJ, and I know as a Green Bay Packer fan, this is going to be tough. Because much like how Colts fans have felt with the Houston Texans, the Texans were supposed to be a dumpster fire forever. Then all of a sudden they get CJ, they get D'Amico, they got their owners shotgunning beers now on stage with Luke Combs. I mean, everything's going in the right direction. Is that what's about to happen with the Chicago Bears? AJ Hawk and Green Bay Packers fans and alumni shitting their pants over what they saw from potentially the answer in Chicago.
Well, I mean, Caleb's unbelievable. Honestly, I think Green Bay is going to be fine. I think we got a quarterback in Green Bay that's playing pretty well with a very young roster who are just full of stars everywhere you look. But getting back to the Bears, Caleb, what I was more impressed with, we all know the physical tools this guy has, how he can move, how he can throw the ball on the run, but all the mental stuff he did, there's different clips of him. Looks like he may be checking out a few things, dealing with the protection, and just doing the little things, I think, that we know, hey, if you couple that with the physical tools this dude has, like, he can be absolutely special.
Rookies showed out seemingly all over the league, and we appreciate them, and we can't wait to continue to watch. You should go watch one of them play live. Ooh. Thanks to our friends at SeatGeek, the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. They got 28 million downloads, and they're still the #1 rated ticketing app. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. Green dot means good, red means bad. Use PMS30 and get $30 off tickets right now. They have tickets, obviously, for everything. NFL, NBA, NHL, concerts, comedy, whatever, you name it. There are some restrictions that apply, which is if it's less than $30, you can't get the $30 off. Doesn't matter if you're a new customer or an old customer, SeatGeek has your back. $30 off now. You're alive, but are you living? Go live and experience something live. Thanks to our friends at SeatGeek. We'll be back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Wow.
Nice.
Well done.
That was pretty solid.
Nailed it.
That really came together. Fresh off a weekend, too, you know?
Mid-season form.
I got me jacked up watching all that football.
Oh, yeah. We were very close.
Dude, I woke up this morning, like, I don't want to say so much happier, but so much more joyful that it's like football.
Absolutely.
We got football. But with that being said, thanks to the Olympics, AJ. Thanks to the Olympics.
Absolutely. Thank you to the Olympics. I agree.
Saturday was fantastic. To get a full update on what we did and what we didn't do at the Olympics, let's go to Hammer, Dahn, with Tone Diggs.
We won it all, Pat.
Yeah,
okay?
we did. USA! 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 USA!
Yeah, we did. Now, technically, we tied the red flag with some yellow stuff on it for the most gold medals, but we won the tiebreaker, so guess what? We won the medal count again. We've done it every single time, as you see it there, since 1992 in Barcelona. And who helped us get there, Pat? It was the U.S. men's basketball team. It was the U.S. women's basketball team. It was the U.S. soccer team. Women's soccer team. Sorry, the men didn't get it done.
Obviously.
Both 4x400s dominated. That was pretty much this weekend. We needed all those, ending with the women's basketball team yesterday to get that 40 count and win the overall Olympics.
Yeah, shout out to that 1-point win over France. Obviously, that was electrifying. What the men's basketball team was so cool.
Yes.
What they did was so cool. I mean, that was just fun to watch. It was good basketball.
Truly.
Great basketball.
It felt like everyone in the world was watching it.
And numbers came out, they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like everybody on earth was watching, and they were both times. It was reran. They're like, you know what? Let's run this shit back. And the Avengers is the nickname of the team that the team is given to the team that won the gold medal. They win the gold in exhilarating fashion. Thank you to France for putting up a good game.
Yeah.
And to Serbia.
Good game.
Yeah.
And to Serbia in the semifinals for putting up an incredible game. That was electrifying basketball. And Joker showed up to the medal ceremony hammered.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
Very true.
He wasn't the only one, but he was certainly the one that we were looking at. They had the Serbian boys stick around, obviously. Hey, you won the bronze. We need to give you the medal. You need to go do the podium. This is the Olympics. So during the day, he almost got choked out there. People were saying he almost passed out, fell. Drunk guy next to him, obviously, in the same exact altitude as Joker. There's a video of them partying during the day. Yep, here it is. We win the bronze. We are pumped. We're already shirtless, and I think this was taking place while the Americans were playing the French team. So then whenever they have to go to the medal ceremony afterwards, what do you expect from Joker? His horse just won. He just got a bronze medal for Serbia, and they're having a time. What do you expect? What do you want? He shows up hammered drunk, and that's why we love him.
Yeah, that's Joker's football.
That is why we love him. A lot of people are saying that Joker looked happier to be winning the bronze with Serbia than he ever has for winning anything with the Denver Nuggets. And it's like, I think that is what, not true. I assume he's awesome in a locker room when they're having a time.
Yeah, parade thing.
Yeah, I want parade. Yeah, like I assume he is fantastic away from it. But the Olympics is special, I think, because you felt that everybody had a sense of pride about their country. Except for Embiid, obviously. Embiid had a sense of pride for the United States of America.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And on the top of that, as they're booing him and the entire team is waving it in, then he's telling them to suck it. It's like the Olympics was awesome, mate.
He earned his stripes, Pat. Okay,
Yes,
Embiid did earn his stripes.
stars.
There's 5 new sports in 2028: flag football, baseball, and softball. squash, lacrosse, and one other one it's escaping my mind.
That was 5 there, you just said.
They counted in the one slide. Baseball, softball was combined into one, I think. But
like 4 more goals.
Unfortunately,
5.
There's one event that won't be there in 2028.
Yeah.
That's breaking.
No.
Easy come, easy go for breakdancing in the Olympics. First time we saw it, we all wondered how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then that lady from Australia did what she did, and it potentially became a mockery. And I don't like that.
It's bullshit.
Because the gold medal winner for the dudes,
unbelievable.
that was some of the most impressive shit I've ever seen. This fucker spun on his head for 2 minutes, and then he picked up speed somehow. He looked like a figure skater on his head.
Nasty.
So what he did, I think people would say, like, oh, if everybody was doing that, I think it would have been a little different. But I guess this decision was already made.
Oh.
I guess this decision was already made.
They knew
I
that
don't know
before.
if B-Girl Ray Gun.
Yeah, I don't think it was
attitude or
strictly
not.
because of Ray Gun. But Olympics is in Australia, I believe, after LA.
32, yeah.
So Australia is going to have to decide whether or not
It'll be back.
They're already trying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
calling Ray Gun out of the doctor of culture, and back into the breakdancing circle. And we can't thank her enough for being a part of it.
So sweet.
Truly.
That's I mean,
she hit that shit.
yeah, she definitely did hit.
So I'll talk.
How was that not a gold medal?
Yeah, Talk did do this entire thing.
After dropping his 3rd Jack and Diet.
God was obviously intrigued about what was happening. Ray Gun, we appreciate you, honestly.
Love you, Ray Girl.
She finessed a way for an all-expense-paid trip to Paris. She's an Olympian. She got the full tracksuit.
Yeah.
You know, Olympic Village, I assume.
Yeah, heroes welcome.
Came back. They're like, yes, this is our break.
Do it again, please.
Yeah, they gave a speech. They're like, yeah, and had her do it on the sidewalk. Better routine on the sidewalk.
Kind of crushed it. Yeah.
Than in the.
Just saving it for the gold medal.
Lights are bright.
Well, lights are bright. Maybe she felt a little bit more at home with her people here who weren't saying that she was the worst breakdancer of all time. They were saying, no, she's the best female breakdancer in Australia.
Love that move.
Have we considered that, because she's used to breakdancing in Australia where everything turns one way and she couldn't adjust to everything spinning the other way?
I didn't see any of that in the Olympic. Well, that's because we only saw the fish flop in the kangaroo hall.
Right, exactly.
That seemingly stole the show. But hey, Ray Gun, great work. But breaking, I do fear easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
In the Olympics thing.
Much cooler for the people that won gold then.
Yeah, and to old cuz that did the whole thing. That was a fucking legendary performance.
It was.
Impressive.
That was a very.
Are there other sports? Are there other sports that are one and done in the Olympics like this?
Good question.
I think I saw
I don't recall that happening.
Basketball.
Was basketball in the Olympics ever?
96.
I think it was.
Because the U.S. did it.
I mean,
Richard Jewell messed it up.
Yeah.
There was a bomb in Centennial
I wouldn't
Park.
be surprised if video games is on its way at some point.
And which one?
Which game? Yeah, which game though?
You could rig that, right? Wouldn't people be very worried about getting in there?
Oh, yeah.
Hackers? Oh, yeah.
What would it be? Call of Duty?
Yeah, Duty would probably whatever is the most
Fortnite?
popular. Yeah, their Overwatch or League of Legends is probably
Can't
the most
predict that 4
important.
years out though.
Maybe
We don't
Rocket
know.
League or something?
Yeah, well, isn't that the soccer
Exactly.
car thing? That's the soccer car thing?
Yeah, bingo.
That game looks sweet.
Whose voice were you doing, Tone?
Bill Gamer. Basically, Bill Gamer.
That's Bailey McComas, is what he just did there.
Gamer
Hey, GTA coming out 6. I heard it's coming out this fall.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it got pushed to next spring.
Yeah, we're
2025, it said.
Who knows? For now.
And that video going around the internet is not for GTA.
Yeah, I saw that. That was for a different situation.
What video?
There was what appeared to be people dancing, to make the reality.
Breakdancing?
No,
Not exactly.
Ray Gun is potentially in the
Ballet.
new GTA. I heard the new
Adult ballet.
I heard the delay. I heard the delay is to get Ray Gun
Yep.
Main character.
in GTA. You can play as, I believe there's a male, there's a female, and then you can play as Ray Gun.
Correct.
And your screen actually.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't kill anybody.
Yeah.
You can only breakdance them.
That is how you. Ray Gun's a dog.
Yeah, she is.
Do we know any other breakdancers' names?
B-Boy Skrilla.
Logistics
Big Girl
There it is.
Logistics.
That's it.
and
Jabberwockies.
She's not a Jabberwocky.
She is not a walkie.
I don't
Could
know.
be. She
She
could.
might be part of the promo walkies that we had.
Yeah, there you go.
That were walking around Radio Row. Hey, put the mask on. Need you just to pop lock a couple times.
She can do
Tell
that.
them there's a show.
That guy who won gold might be a Jabberwocky.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Probably gold, silver, and
And
bronze.
bronze, yeah.
I would assume but we'll never know because that's part of the part of the gimmick. Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So sweet.
Hey, Tone, you did great keeping us updated on all the Olympics, brother.
It was awesome. I now this could be a prisoner of the moment, but I thought that was the best Olympics we've ever had.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. Best Olympics of all time.
I mean, now did I pay attention to the last one that much? No, but here we are.
We'll remember this one, though, in a year.
Yeah.
All the other ones of the past, we specifically have not remembered.
Oh, we beat COVID again. We cured it again.
Oh, yeah, Noah Lyles had COVID.
Yep.
Won a bronze. He won a bronze. Almost on track, obviously, because respiratory issue.
But didn't
he was then cleared from COVID. He beat it. Easy come, easy go. And
athlete.
He was back partying, having a good time.
Yep, cutting it up.
There's another man
COVID
who
football.
just got it again. He got vaccinated 6 times or something.
Noah Lyles got COVID again.
No,
he was out in that club.
Gump, you got it. Gump, you got it again. I know you're vaccinated 6 times.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's another man 6 times vaccinated, got it for the 3rd time.
Well, I hope everybody's okay. I hope they survive. That's what I hope happens. I genuinely hope everybody
Who's he
survives.
talking about?
Noah Lyles out there in the club was a move because he should be happy. You know, won 100 meter, fastest man in the world.
Yep. Sure.
At 100 meter dash. But, I mean.
Could have used him in the 4x1.
He probably should have flown home.
Well, I mean, the baton issue we had.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
That was. Closing ceremony was cool. Tom Cruise did his thing.
Yeah, I mean, we knew TC was going to show up, and he did.
What was he doing? So he was rappelling off of his foot there? Is that why his leg was like this?
I'm under the impression that he wanted to just fucking base jump, no wires or anything. They're like, TC, we can't let you do. We got to at least hook you up. So, yeah, I think that was like his little speed gimmick thing that he could, kind of jerk at, and it would make him go faster.
Because he was coming down looking like a flamingo.
Yeah,
he had that leg all the way up there.
He didn't love that.
I don't think he enjoyed the lack of coolness that he could show coming in.
I agree.
But his hair was like, look, he gets his leg back.
He's kind of just stuck. He can't really do anything.
He did the Gaga from the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think he likes the way he looks.
No.
I don't think that's, and he's pulling that thing off, and then boom, all the way off the leg. Pulled it off.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Looks sick.
Because he's TC, obviously. But then I love him walking down through all the athletes and fans, takes a selfie, sees his hair. Oh, no, not perfect. Then keeps walking. Gets the flag from Simone Biles, who she was in a boot.
Yep.
Hope she's okay. Hope she ends up okay. Hope she participates in 2028 so we can make some noise in America for her, no matter how many events she does. But TC getting the welcome that he got. Kiss on both cheeks.
Whoa, easy.
Yeah, he's sucking face with Tom Cruise. And then here's this. Oh, let me see. Oh, look at my hair. Whoa. His ass hopping on a motorcycle.
That was cool.
Taking that flag all the way. Hopping in the back of a bomber.
Right into it.
They land in L.A. I don't know how. That's Tom Cruise football.
Record time.
They
Record
get
time.
France to L.A. so quick. And then him coming out of the sky. One point just chilling like this. Knowing that he has the Olympic flag.
Oh,
nuts.
What a wild animal.
Was it a helo jump? Was it 30,000 feet? Was it a helo jump? Do we know? Or
I think he was in that. I think he was in that bomb.
Halo.
I think he was in that bomb. What a moment! And then the Hollywood sign.
What a picture! What a picture!
Yeah, this one definitely a great photo of him on a motorcycle rolling out of there. And standing on a motorcycle is hilarious. It's like a kid on a bike. That is a funny thing. As he had to kind of dodge people too, because there was a crowd. Because it's
TC.
It's Tom Cruise.
Right, big crowd.
But then him actually hanging the color in the different rings of the Olympics on the Hollywood sign, that's TC difference.
Exactly.
Because as you're filming it, he's actually doing that.
Correct.
Like, that's not somebody else. He actually hung it there. And he was standing there with no strap, no wire on. And that's why the Olympics in LA is going to be awesome. Obviously, Snoop Dogg does his thing. Dr. Dre comes out. Billie Eilish sings Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Her
was in France.
Her name's Billie Eilish.
Yeah, HER. We're talking about
separate.
The national
anthem in
Yeah.
France. She nailed it. What was that gold thing that was walking around from Greece?
Yeah, I don't know.
The peacock, maybe?
Was it a medal?
No.
It was like walking around.
What was it?
It was walking around. It had a super cool look too, though.
Scarecrow?
It looked like a little bit like a scarecrow. Whatever the case, congrats Olympics, and congrats to you, Tony. Good work.
Thank you.
Great, Tony.
I was just informed by Twitter. Cricket was the 5th one that I missed there.
Oh, we're not going to win that one. 4 gold medals. Yeah, we're not going to get cricket. Oh, yeah, we did.
You
Good
did.
one. We beat
We had biggest upset.
India?
Yeah, biggest upset in world history.
We beat Pakistan?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Look
Bingo.
out.
on our home cricket courts. Oh, fields. Oh,
Yeah, those two.
Match places. Oh, arena.
Sure.
All of them.
Are we going to have the proper crow hoppers?
Aren't matches like a month long sometimes? How are they going to do that in the Olympics?
I think they'll shorten them.
Time limited?
4 days, probably 4 days. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Diggs, thank you.
Oh, yeah, Tony.
Jameis Winston's back giving pregame speeches, and I believe, after what I heard, he's maybe swinging the hottest bat that Jameis Winston has ever swung. We know that he's racing Vrabel every single practice. Now he's giving pregame speeches to a brand new team buying in and listening. Deshaun Watson's about to have his best year he's ever had. Roll it.
The message is simple.
Yeah, it is.
Be obsessed with your opportunity. Yeah. All of us that came from wherever we from. Right here, we got right now. So be obsessed with your opportunity. I got one thing for y'all, man.
One thing.
Help me out because I know we're a team, all right? I have this in my dream, all right? All right, when I say where my dogs at, y'all say we ready, all right? Where my dogs at? When I say where my dogs at, y'all say we ready, all right? Where my dogs at? Now I'm about to spell the Browns out. I know we one team.
This also his dream.
I'm going to spell the Browns out. We're going to B-R-O-W-E. Come on, Dave. You're going to say let's get it. We're going to B-R-O-W-E. Let's get it.
Buy-in. Full buy-in.
Yep.
Full buy-in. Sometimes you can't hear, on the outer layers of the circle. James made sure he projected his voice. He also wasn't speaking in one direction. He was making sure everybody heard it. And when he dropped in that last one, we already had a give and take early. Now we got a brand new give and take to wrap this thing up. They executed perfectly. Jameis Winston is pulling all the strings right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston is seeing the field. Jameis Winston's words are going to put Deshaun Watson back on top. Look out for the fucking Cleveland Browns because Jameis Winston's in town.
Well, I mean, especially because he can see the future. I mean, he saw that in his dreams. Wait till he sees, hey, Deshaun, I saw the 2-minute drive on 3rd and 8. Make sure you check the safety because he's going to come up and you're going to throw a touchdown down the left sideline.
Jameis is electrifying. Jameis is going to have to play football this year, too.
Yeah.
If we've seen anything, 17-game season, Deshaun Watson, probably going to see some Jameis Winston football. More of those speeches are on the way.
Yes.
And if the Browns social media team, which is one of the best in the league, can do us any favors, we need
constantly
every
better
game.
win.
Mic him up.
What's that?
They better win. I mean, look, we know Jameis.
What
Great leader.
You got him in the Super Bowl.
Look, he's been a winner. He was the number 1 overall pick, won a national championship in college, so there's no doubt about that. Maybe that's not Deshaun's thing. Maybe it's the pregame speeches and getting guys hyped. That's not his thing. Hey, stick to the football. Hopefully we see the Deshaun Watson of 2020-21. But yeah, they better win because
didn't work on Saturday, but
he won in 3 out of the gate. You got Jameis in there in the pregame.
It did work. Play that back. Did you hear how bought in everybody was?
And Njoku's in there.
Njoku's dialed.
Yeah, 5. We're hearing 5s in there. Oh my God. Go ahead.
The message is simple.
Okay.
Be obsessed with your opportunity. Yeah. All of us that came from wherever we from. Right here, we got right now. So be obsessed.
Where would you be, AJ?
I got one thing for y'all, man.
Right where Njoku is. I'll be gassing him up.
I have this in my dream, all right?
All right.
All right, when I say
Think about how hype his dreams are.
oh my God.
He wakes up.
He's a great orator.
We
ready? See, you want to jump in. Yeah.
Come on, Jameis.
Come on, Jameis.
B-R-O-W-E.
Let's get it. Yeah, I mean, that's a successful pregame.
So sick.
If you treat that pregame speech like a play, okay, just one play that happens, and then we got to move to the next play, Browns win on that play.
99-yard touchdown.
Bingo. Nobody even close to tackling.
Nope.
Yeah, Jameis. How about that? Now that, I don't know. I wonder.
That was a little facetious.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm wondering a little bit. Yeah, if there's some guys on the outside that might be a bit facetious, or maybe just throwing some gas on the fire.
You're talking about that? You're talking about those?
Honestly though, Jameis is authentic. We know the speeches of those that we hate are the ones that they're fake, and the person does it because they see the cameras and they think the coach wants it. Jameis, at least, he's authentic. That is Jameis. I guarantee you, he would do that anywhere. He's not doing that for the camera.
I was so happy.
It's his first year at the team.
I was so happy.
Yeah, I know.
It's racing Vrabel.
Yeah.
Racing Vrabel, talking knick-knack, paddywhack, Give a dog a bone.
Yep.
You guys like that one, didn't you?
I just rhymed.
That's what.
He's gonna be himself. You can always appreciate and respect it. He's gonna be himself.
Yeah,
he's
but
he's got a future after football. He'll
Definitely.
be a pastor, probably. He'll be a public speaker. I mean, he'll go over. I would want him to come and talk to my high school football team, my college team for sure.
Yeah, I would want him. Yeah, I would. We need James.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Could you imagine what he walks? He shows up, I assume, on 1,000.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
It's just all the way through. And then when does he? Do you think at night when he puts his head down, he goes, "Okay, Jameis, now time for Jameis time. We've given enough to the world." Every time he's on 1,000 that I've ever
Yes.
seen him. Right, sideline on 1,000.
Yep.
In a game on 1,000. He was playing for both teams for his last year with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He's preaching
Off-season workouts.
On 1,000.
preaching at church. He had that kid in his hand.
On 1,000.
Yeah.
He's on 1,000 all the time. You can't help but love that around. Browns got better whenever they brought in James.
Hell yeah.
And so do we.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So do we whenever they got in there. Punts and kickoffs, obviously, punters just tackling everybody. You know,
Yeah, they are.
Punters are the story, and that's a big takeaway from preseason weekend one. Big balls, big bombs, big tackles, you name it, the boys are doing it. Here's Tress Way, grizzled vet in the NFL. Massive leg, always has. Absolute dog, incredible ping pong player, great social media guy, incredibly entertaining. The Washington fans love him because how good he is at his job and how good of a guy he is. Boom, open field tackle, trying to cut back. 7-yard gain, I believe, on that return inevitably. So Tressway was down the field.
Damn.
In a preseason game, making a tackle. Absolute dog. How about Cam Johnston, new home, Pittsburgh, playing against old home, Houston. Hits the ball in the middle of the field in between numbers and hash. Ends up, boom, shoulder, plus alongside Peyton Wilson. Big time tackle to Tank Dell. Yeah. Yeah. What, Tank? What? I think he potentially thought it was just him. Peyton Wilson was snuck in the backside. Doesn't matter. Love when a punter's that juiced. Speaking of punters in new towns, how about Tommy Townsend in Houston? Hits an absolute nuke out of the back of his end zone. Tommy Townsend murders footballs. Had a bobble, a drop. Houston gains 70 yards of field position here with the ball. Tommy Townsend comes running down. Catch the ball, bitch. He's saying, catch the ball, bitch. That guy's got multiple Super Bowl rings and hits the ball further and higher than anybody else in the league. He can say and do whatever the hell he wants. I like that he chooses to do so.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Punters are winning the entire weekend, pal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thought, like, yeah, hey, why didn't the defense, that intensity transfer over to the Hall of Fame game? It transferred over to Tommy Townsend only.
Yeah, that's right.
To this game.
Tommy Townsend's a dog. How about the Chiefs now have Matt Araiza back in the NFL, punt god whenever he came out. Obviously gets massive false allegations made against him that derail the start of his NFL career. He's back now with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's going to be great, but Tommy Townsend, became a free agent, commanded real money.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Commanded real money. And DeMeco Ryans, defensive-minded head coach, right? GM Caserio comes from a field position world of New England Patriots. It's worth paying a guy who is a weapon. Tommy Townsend is a weapon. He hits the ball so high. I think I watched him doing warm-ups, was it last year or 2 years ago? And I was like, yeah, probably the right time for me to get out. I couldn't have. That ball is so fucking high. He is so strong, and I like that he talks shit. Let's talk about the kickoffs now, AJ. Kickoffs, big story of the weekend. Special teams running the show all weekend, okay? There's one particular post from the Jacksonville Jaguars that has a bunch of different angles of their big dynamic kickoff return on their Instagram. And one move was made by a returner that I saw that I thought to myself, wait a minute. That might be the game changer. That might be why hang time matters. This dude catches this ball up on his shoulder, okay? He catches it up on his shoulder. So he steals, is this the Instagram one? Yeah, boom, right there. So that ball, he catches that thing up on his shoulder. Harrison Butker tries to punch that ball, okay? He's just trying to punch it down to the one because it doesn't really matter how far you hit it. He's just trying to land it on the one like a little punch shot, just a little driver. This dude catches the ball on his shoulder at the 7 or 8 or 9 yard line. So all of a sudden, he is off and running forward, little punch ball, bang, and now we got a shorter amount of time. It's hang time might matter. You might actually need to bring it in from the sky if you want that thing, because some of these guys can maybe move up to 15. If guys are line driving it, snag that thing, be aggressive decision, obviously. But if you're able to catch it, you can really benefit from the shorter amount of space that the defense, the kickoff return team has to block for. There were some big returns. There was some great coverage. There was a lot more action, obviously, in the preseason week. So I think the NFL people are thinking that it's a win and it's a success. We don't think we have any idea how it'll be until regular season starts because we assume people are hiding stuff. Some players that will end up playing aren't playing it yet. Or maybe it's just touchbacks when the regular season starts. But it has been electrifying to watch, AJ. So I think the NFL is probably pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're watching like every team trying to figure out in real time. That's why the preseason it's been fun. Like you want to stick around for kickoffs because like, we don't really know. Like I think teams are all trying to figure out exactly, hey, what are we going to do when these games really count? Like I don't know. I don't love the way it looks. I obviously we also have said that, but it honestly has brought a new element to the game and it makes these kickoffs much more interesting. Normally, you're going to take a leak. You're going to do something else because it's a touchback.
I was bummed out I missed the kickoff. Now, granted, obviously, kickoff person, special teams person, but I wanted to see it. I think other people were trying to see what the hell is going to happen. Yeah. They had a safety happen in a game. Yeah. So I think over the last few years, I don't know if it was necessarily a rule, but it become, if the ball lands in the end zone, it's just going to be a touchback. Like refs just started blowing it dead as soon as the ball hit there. I think to save any potential contact. Back in the day, it was like live ball, live ball, live ball. Ball hits the end zone, it is live. Until somebody kneels it, until the ball is actually finished, it is a live ball. That was the rules for kickoffs forever, basically. That was like one of the biggest rules. Then it became like, as soon as the ball hit the end zone, the refs were blowing it as the touchback because the play kind of became forfeited. I guess the decision was made with this new dynamic kickoff that has been brought back to the league that the ball would have to be down inside the end zone. It's not just called dead. So this particular situation happens. This is the ball.
Yeah.
This is the ball that you want to hit. Now, granted, returners could catch that in the end zone and kneel it. Classic old school touchback. That comes out to the 30. We keep it moving. But the fact that it hit the ground and then backspin back into play, McCole Hardman was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Thought about the out of bounds rule where you can grab the kickoff and kind of reach yourself in there. But instead, he actually moves the ball from a sitting position in play to a live position in the end zone for a safety to be called. And it's like this kickoff, literally fucking anything can happen.
Yeah, that's huge.
Literally anything can happen. And the ball being live is a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge. You mentioned obviously the rules changing, but this is a learning moment for everybody now. Every special teams room will be looking at this play as, hey, these are the new rules, because you listen to the rules, but you don't go to every byline and read every rule. But now that you see it actually happen in preseason, this is what preseason is for too, for shit like this to happen and for all 32 teams to go over and look at it and say, hey, these are different now. Don't take the safety when the real shit starts flying.
McCole Hardman, not the only human in the NFL
He's
that
been
would have
around.
done. Yeah, a lot of dudes would have done exactly what he did, because there's the old school super genius special teams rule where if you put your feet out of bounds and grab the ball, all of a sudden that kickoff is out of bounds because you are technically out of bounds. You touch the ball before it goes in for a touchback. That ball's at the 40 now. So that used to be like super genius play. Like, okay, what do we want to do? We want to do that. So I think he was thinking the same rules apply.
Why 6?
Uh-oh. Is that the why? Your mic is out.
Yes, it is.
I can hear mine. Mic check, mic check.
I can hear that mic.
Yours is not on.
I can hear AJ.
Whoa.
Could hear everyone except for Pat.
Can't hear you.
I can hear everything.
We can hear everyone except for Pat.
What was that?
Nope.
Is that one on?
Too.
Someone tell him wireless mic.
Tap the thing the button, the mute button.
Wireless mic.
Nope.
Wireless mic on top of your desk.
Whoa.
Nope.
No, that's out too.
What is happening?
All right.
How about this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I don't know what the hell happened. Was that the Wyatt? Was that the?
I mean.
Was that the?
Nope.
Was that the Wyatt 6 right there? Or did we just have a full power outage from a power surge, and now we got to talk into a microphone that's in a wall?
Yeah, it looks like it's in the moon though on when you're talking, which is kind of cool.
When the moon, I think that's actually a meteor. Did you guys see the fucking? There was Northern Lights last night.
Didn't see him.
Sky actually looked like this allegedly. If you look northeastern.
Okay.
Northeasterly last night, you missed it.
Did miss it.
Did not happen. Look at photos though. I think Phil tweeted a photo of a Pittsburgh shot of the.
Whoa. Can't you hear your voice though?
Boys, the fuck?
I have no idea.
Are we still on? Like, is it still?
Yeah,
on?
we're still live.
We're still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, we're back. This thing's back. This thing just came back.
I think your mic did
you're
too.
back.
And Mike's back on.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. We are back. All right. Have we been live this whole time?
Apparently.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, great. Okay, well, we'd like to let everybody know, just like you saw, every fucking thing shut down. We're supposed to have generators that are supposed to. I assume that's what kept us live, probably.
Yeah,
Must
probably
have been.
kicked in.
Ah, and then your microphones are on generated power, probably. These ones are not. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Good test.
sure.
Good test. Way to test the system. You tested the system. You're
Just
good.
like McCall Hardman.
That's right.
Just like you, we're learning as we go. What are the rules? Well, at any given time, you can lose all power. What happened?
I have no idea. Maybe like a squirrel crawled into the junction box and.
Because remember when we were downtown, we had to worry about homeless people just pulling on the cartoon-sized lever that was red outside that said power.
Yes.
Do you remember that, AJ? Do you ever see that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
It was actually a
Nuts.
cartoon-sized
I can't
lever.
believe that was real. I can't believe that was a real situation.
Me neither. We keep
Put a
losing
cager out. Do something.
Not in a cage or anything.
We
Just
keep
sitting-
losing power. Do we know? We don't know what's happening. Okay. And then we just walk behind the building one time. And it's like, is this the power for our building? Yes, that's power for your half of the building or whatever. It's like, literally just.
It's basically the wheel from The Price is Right. And any of the slots turned the power off.
And anybody would feel like, oh, I want to pull that.
Gotta do it.
I would want to.
You kind of see it. You're like, oh. Let alone if you're potentially homeless on meth,
Bingo.
see a lever, holy shit, like definitely want to, boom. So now I thought we had that fixed. Do we have a lever somewhere we need to figure out? Is there somebody attacking us? We're complimenting a new kickoff rule.
Yeah.
Who would hate on
So I
that?
guess we were out for like 10 seconds on YouTube, and then we came back.
Wow, what a play. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. Wow. I think we need to figure some stuff out. Yeah. We have a lot to sort out.
Back to the
boys.
drawing
Oh,
board.
sweep the perimeter. Have
on
send
Raw
Bill out
tonight.
to sweep the perimeter.
It's preseason. What you say?
It's on Raw tonight.
Well, it's in Austin, Texas. Texas is far.
And big.
Texas is far.
Once you're in Texas, doesn't mean you're there.
Love Texas. Love.
True.
Whoa.
Looks kind of sweet.
Yeah, look at that.
So were we not on?
We're watching it. Oh, yeah, you can see. I could hear nothing at this point. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I could not hear you, obviously.
All the it was only your mic that stopped for all the mics that were on your desktop.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We know that one on the wall is good.
Brand new, by the way. First day. It's the first day for this one.
Good work.
Good mic.
Right here. Hey, good work. Good debut out of you.
Cool, Mike.
That's for whenever I'm yelling at a screen, which was going to happen for the kickoff anyways. We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll do it tomorrow. All right, let's get the fuck out of here, boys. We got to figure that out. We do got to sort out what just happened.
Yeah.
That can't happen. We apologize to everybody that's watching. A crop product shows up every single day, but we don't need to add losing power in the middle of it.
Sure.
That'd be rude to those who watch and listen, who we are incredibly grateful for. Got a chance to see some of the people at the State Fair this weekend in Indiana. It was really cool to run into people. Hey, good to see you. Watch the program. Hey, thanks. Very good to see you. Corn dogs right down there. Let's go grab them. State Fair corn dogs. Still unbelievable.
Yeah, top notch.
They are so good.
Can't beat them.
State Fair season's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Is it through August?
I think it's got like another week.
Okay.
Maybe 2. I don't know. Should be 3 weeks. How long is it?
I thought it was 3 weeks, but it might just be 2.
Because it started, I think last week was first week.
Yep.
So you need to get out there.
Okay.
Do you guys have State Fair in Ohio?
Yeah, I think the biggest state fair in the U.S. is the Franklin County Fairgrounds.
Where's that at?
Columbus area.
Do you go?
Nope.
So then it's not.
Why don't you go?
Never been.
Just a lot.
You've never been to the State Fair?
Never been to it. No, I have not been to that.
Where I grew up, there wasn't state fairs, and then I came out to Indiana, and there were state fairs, and I'm like, county fairs? These are fucking awesome.
We got county fairs.
County fairs are
Yeah, there
awesome.
was never a state fair. It was, I was probably 2 hours away from me growing up, so we didn't drive to it.
Not worth the trip. I get you. Yeah, this one
We'll
here.
go to Kennywood. We'll go to Kennywood instead.
Smart. That's a smart play. It is for sale, I have learned.
True.
Oh, no. How much?
I don't know. Believe me, this has been.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I don't know if they asked me, but I certainly was asking myself.
Boy.
I was certainly asking myself. This Thunderdome, our little power issue, was certainly going to be no more because we're going to be live from the Kennywood every single day.
On the coaster?
Every day. Every day, somebody in there. Yeah, there's so many things. Noah's Ark. I mean, the amount of content we get out of Noah's Ark is absurd. And they got stages set up everywhere. They got, Yeah, I mean, I thought it's expensive though, and then let alone the insurance. Fuck, the insurance would be
My God,
absolutely absurd. The part of town that it's into with like a little bit of investment, for we can.
There's really only one way to go though, since you've already transitioned a church into a studio, is to make a theme park into the everyday studio.
Bingo. Yeah, that was what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, we'll open it up. It'll be like we'll be able to set this thing up however we want. Just run an amusement park. All of a sudden, we're that guy. What's his name? Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, we're Willy Wonka. And we can just fucking set up like I mean, believe me, I went way too deep. Way too deep into what it would be like to own an amusement park. More specifically, Kennywood. I was like, all right, so how do we go about getting a couple $100 million here to buy fucking Kennywood? And then do
No way it's that much.
The property itself.
The upkeep alone, it's the upkeep that's going to get you if you want to keep those rides. Well, there's probably only 2 rides running anyway, right?
The amount of space it is going to be expensive as shit to begin with. All the shit that's there is expensive.
Just to weed whack it, just to pull the weeds and weed whack it. It's
Talk as a
$100,000
carny, though, might be worth it.
I mean, it'll be sweet to see him cutting talks on the racer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Driving around. Wow, this is fun. This is a good time. It also comes with Sandcastle, I believe, which is the water park.
Wow.
Water. So you get Kennywood and Sandcastle.
That's a deal.
All right, it's game changer.
Boy.
Sure, that water's clean.
Now they're competing against each other on any given day that either are available to be open. So you can never have there's never a Sandcastle season and then a Kennywood season. Those are both at the same exact time.
Sure.
So that is a little bit of a
build a dome over it.
Interesting dynamic.
Yep.
Sandcastle with a dome would be so sick.
So sweet.
Sandcastle was sweet.
It's year round.
I don't know. Those indoor water parks stink.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in Ohio. AJ, you probably go to all those. What are those ones called?
Noah's Ark.
No, is it called Noah's Ark?
No, like Great Wolf Lodges, shit like that.
There's one.
Oh, yeah. Cincinnati, the Great Wolf Lodge. Yeah, I've been there.
Is it awesome?
It's really awesome. Yep.
Okay.
What I'm
it's
saying
crowded, very crowded indoor water park where you're standing with water up to your knees that has more piss than the toilet. But that's from me and my kids as well. So,
Hey,
awesome.
That's why we love it. That is why we love it. So, anyways, I've removed the thought of buying both of those from my brain
For now.
which is damn.
Not fully, not
completely.
Back burner. It's on
No,
the back burner.
It's got to be completely out of there. That thing, we got to make space for other stuff, like figuring out why we lost our fucking power.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to that. Then we'll be back tomorrow. We can't thank you enough. Shout out to Belichick stopping by. Obviously, that was rather. Sham Charania broke some massive news. Adam Schefter did some real chat about the Aiyuk situation, which we appreciate. Fresh out of a workout. Did you see him, AJ?
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, Shefty, CrossFit Shefty, I see him. What's he doing?
And then Kevin O'Connell, what a weapon. We're in a good time.
We're in now, yeah.
We're in a good time. I think we have Coach McDaniel on the show tomorrow from the Miami Dolphins.
Here we go.
And others. I believe there's a lot of people that we are currently. I don't like, and this is a problem with our program. And it would have been cool to have it sorted, but it is not sorted, and we will have to figure it out at some point or just battle through. I don't like asking people come on program. Especially in downtime, off season. I'm like, yo, there's about 1 million things I can think of that would be better than coming to chat with us. But when football season comes back around, those conversations are a lot,
Yeah.
Hey, do you want anybody on? Yep, we do. So it's like life is really good right now.
Yeah, it really is.
And we got to make sure we remember that, because there was times there where, boy, I was a little bit worried about what we were going to do and if we would have been worth watching. And most days we're not, but today felt like we were. Tomorrow, another one.
Hell yeah.
We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Great work, boys. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Tone is back at his house rest.
That's right.
Ankle monitor's back on.
I'm going to spell out Browns, all right? And then you say,
all right,
let's get it, okay? Okay, BROWNS.
Let's get it.
Team on me, team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.